This is the Jay Foreman Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here's Coy Detmer dropping straight back in the pocket. Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
A look to the left, and he kind of telegraphed it all the way. When the ball was tipped, Foreman's in the right spot.
The Jay Foreman Postgame Show is brought to you by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
Here's Valenti dropping back, fires a pass, and it's intercepted by the Huskers at the 25, Jay Foreman. And Foreman takes it down to the 19-yard line of Oklahoma. Another big play by the Black Shirts.
Here are your hosts, Jay Foreman and Nick Sainert.
Alrighty, folks, it is the Jay Foreman postgame show. Jay Foreman making his way over from Memorial Stadium here as Nebraska falls 40-16 to the Iowa Hawkeyes to wrap up the regular season. They finished with a regular season record of 7-5, under 500 in the Big Ten Conference season as well, 4-5 overall in the conference slate. Before we get going here for the next 3 hours in totality, Jay and I will take you up until 4 o'clock. DP and Harrison will take over until 6 o'clock as once again Nebraska falls 40-16 to the Iowa Hawkeyes. The postgame show, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Anderson Ford of Lincoln, Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance, and Baumgars. So thanks to them for their support all season long. As once again, Nebraska falls 40-16. Before we give our initial thoughts into this one, as always, want to remind you that the text line and the phone lines are open for you. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Sartor Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today. As Jay Foreman once again making his way, and he just walked in the building here as Nebraska falls to Iowa. We want to hear your thoughts. You can always tune in if you want the video element on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Allo Cable Channel 961. All of those are places for you guys to get in touch with us as the Husker Hall of Famer, after standing on that cold sideline, man, for the last couple of hours, and unfortunately watching Nebraska fall. I know everybody out there has thoughts. We are here for you guys. And with that being said, let's go ahead and bring him in. Jay Foreman, how are we feeling?
Well, I mean, depend personally or, the perspective of everybody probably walking around and in the stadium is probably
wasn't a whole lot of people left.
No, that's why the traffic is bad. Well, extremely disappointed, obviously. It goes without saying it was not a good performance at all. You got to tip your hat to Iowa. You have to.
Yeah, you do.
They came in and beat you. I mean,
there was a lot of inexcusable stuff.
Sure, but that's fine. But Iowa made you make mistakes, or they think they made you make mistakes, or whatever it was. We had self-inflicted wounds. They created some wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give them credit. It's just disappointing where you kind of know what you have in front of you. You want to, make things right from last week, both, individually and collectively, and you had a chance. You kind of started the game good, and, Iowa just basically kind of pushed you around. Missed tackles, just kind of the same thing. And so then they were able to take some advantage of some things that, obviously we did to ourselves. And they kind of had some timely plays, like right before half. I don't know how much we were down. I think we ended up going into half down 10, but they were only up 3. We did a good job on first down. Then they busted off that 20-some yard run, to kind of get them over half, over half field. And then next thing you know, they end up scoring.
Jay, I wouldn't even have said in the first half that Nebraska really got pushed around. Like I thought, Emmett Johnson with a spectacular individual day again. 29 carries, 217 yards and a score. Averages 7.5 yards per carry.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a really, really nice day for Emmett Johnson. I thought Nebraska in the first half did pretty well blocking for him, especially on the perimeter. Guys like Isaiah Hunter really got dirty and stuff, which was really good to see. But the second half, it completely fell off the rails. But
it started.
There was a lot of inexcusable.
The last 6 minutes, you had it. You came back, and I think you got within one. With the field goal, and you had a chance to stop them. They got a decent return, first of all, and then you had a chance to stop them 2 or 3 times on third down, didn't have a chance. So then that's where it started. Then they got the ball back, hit that big run, and then it allowed them to go in up to half, up by 3 or up by 10, excuse me.
Yeah. It was really, really unfortunate. Nebraska, once again, TJ Lateef finishes 9 of 24 through the air, 69 yards, visibly hurt. In the first half, he got banged up. I mean, there was a third down conversion attempt that they were trying to get, that Nebraska just didn't get it because he couldn't use his legs when he rolled out to the right side. I mean, there's a lot here, on the individual side of it. Ultimately, though, I mean, just a really disappointing last 2 weeks. There's a lot to be talked about with the offense. But once again, I mean, Jay, as a defender yourself, you give up 37 on the road last week, and then you follow that up with a 40 points allowed performance against Iowa. And it just was at home. And it just really was deflating as that game progressed.
Yeah, and they kind of started to, when the scale started to tip their way, then that gave them, they wanted to beat you down, and that's what they did. And the last 2 weeks, the two teams that we were playing weren't two offensive juggernauts. I mean, both just run the ball. I'd argue that Penn State's quarterback was better passing than Iowa's quarterback coming, kind of more dangerous. So we've seen him. We just didn't really have an answer. They took advantage of some of our weaknesses, which we allowed it to be even more weaker based on we didn't do the things we needed to do to give ourselves a chance. And they had a specific game plan. They wanted to withstand the storm, and see if we'd break first, and we broke.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. I don't want to try to. You need to calm me down if I end up getting too emotional about this. We were both in the stadium. I mean, that was there's no excuse for this. Like that, you don't look. Last week it was really bad because we sat here and said there is no way that Iowa was 27 points better than Nebraska. Well, there is no way in hell that Penn State is 27 points better than Nebraska. There's no way in hell that I look across the board and I see that Iowa is 24 points better than Nebraska. That this was as discouraging of a way to end a season as I can remember. You going into November, and I get that Dylan Wright. If you want to make it that's not a good number. If you want, I'll call it an excuse. If you want to make the excuses of that things are hard for Nebraska and guys are injured, look at every single other program.
Yeah,
every single other program. Right. And at the end of the day, Jay, like I look at this and go, ahead of November, you had everything you could have possibly wanted in front of you. Everything you could have possibly wanted. A chance to have an incredible atmosphere and crowd on the first game of the November against USC in your own house. And that's one that we've been looking at forward to since the off season when they made it a theme night and you don't get the job done. Then you go, sure, right? You win on the road at UCLA, a bad UCLA team that's fallen off the map. Not trying to discredit a win. A win is a win, especially on the road in November. But then another one that you and I talked about in the pregame, we've circled since the start of the season as like, this is the one you can point to really see if it's a litmus test. And that was when we thought they were a national championship contender.
Yeah.
Penn State's not that. They're an interim coach. And you go and you lay a fat egg on the road against a backup quarterback. And then it's Iowa at home, a chance to get 8 wins in the midst of a horrendous schedule in comparison to what you could have had. And you allow 40 points and you finish 7-5 and 4-5 in the conference. I mean, it is just absolutely asinine to me to sit here and be like, yeah, you know what? I feel really good about this thing right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, because it's the recent emotion, but those emotions are fair, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not probably all like wholly, like fully realistic. I mean, I think they're moving in the right direction, not at the pace that they want or should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we said it with that schedule, no matter who's playing, we should be able to squeak out 8 wins. So we're obviously 8 in the regular season, not including the bowl game. So you're a win behind. It's not a best way. This is probably not I'm trying to see. I don't know what's more deflating, the Iowa walk-off, the multiple times, the one when Adrian ran out of town or ran out of bounds, or the other ones, or this one right here. This one felt like just getting your face, rubbed in the mud, and then they're just driving in like,
it's everything that you said you've moved on and gotten better at. It showed today that you haven't.
Yeah.
And more so, what I mean by that about is all you preach about is physicality and being the tougher team and being able to win football games in conditions like you had today. Yeah. And you couldn't, at these last 2 weeks, you couldn't have looked farther from capable of doing that.
Yeah, defensively, for sure. You can't really say that offensively.
Oh, yeah. I'm more so speaking about the defense right now.
And Iowa's, they pride themselves on trying to beat up Nebraska, and it's a combination of things, of fundamentals, number one. That's number one where it comes, because fundamentals allows you to be physical. Mm-hmm. Then it's a mentality that you live. This is just how you live. It's every single day. And so, yeah, it's deflating there. And as a former defender, obviously you never want to see Iowa be able to do anything like that. Or, I don't particularly care for Iowa. I can respect them. I don't like them. I wish we would have been able to play them. But, you got to deal with it. The damage is done. I don't think that like the world is ending or nothing like that, but they obviously got to, have some heart-to-hearts and address some things. This is going to be a long month.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long month. And it's going to be a long month because once you kind of get over and lick your wounds from here, and whether you're trying to blame somebody else, blame yourself, combination, Dylan's not playing, Dylan's thinking about transferring, or, ever since Penn State came snooping. I'm just telling you, if you lined up 100 guys, they give you 100 different reasons.
100%.
Okay, so once you get past those reasons, then you got to actively try to get, then you got to say, okay, well, how can we fix what I can fix, or what we can fix as a group? And then you have to practice for 2 or 3 weeks or a month or whatever to get ready to play a game, because you're going to have this is 2 in a row. Whoever you play is going to probably try to replicate what just happened. So there is no, we can, everything's, washed, swept underneath the rug.
Yeah.
You got to fix it.
402-464-5685 Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line are open for you. Let's go right to the phone lines, Jay. Let's open them up. We've got Will kicking us off on the calls. Will, appreciate your patience, my friend. What's on your mind this afternoon?
Well, this is what I saw. I saw one team with a better coach, better staff, better linemen, better running backs, better quarterback. The most winningest coach in Big Ten history. Everybody clowns them, and I hate that. But I also hate that they beat us. I don't know. I'm also thinking, like, if week 1, 2026, if we see the same coaching staff next year, expect the same result. Like, I honestly had Nebraska winning maybe 3 games this year because of the line play. I'm shocked they won 7. So, part of me is like, man, I can't believe we won 7 games with this line. I expect them to win 3. But at the same time, hey, Matt Rule, this is year 3, and your staff stinks. Come on. You get a bonus. You get like a pay increase. And then we end up, 1-3, the last 4 after the pay. I don't know. Go Big Red, I guess.
Appreciate that, Will. And I'll say this. I disagree with one thing that Will said. A couple of things, actually. I think we all agreed that Nebraska was better than 3 wins. We can't sit here after and be like, wow, well, you know what? I'm surprised. You can't move the goalpost and be like, well, I thought we were going to win. Nebraska was going to win 6. So the fact that they won 7, I'm happy with. Don't do that to yourself. Expect better out of Nebraska. Number 2 is I'm taking Emmett Johnson over every single running back, maybe in the Big Ten Conference, outside of maybe Justice Haynes when he's healthy. So I thought Emmett Johnson, and he proved it, was the best running back on the field today. I think even Emmett Johnson was the best running back, maybe for college football, on the field last week when he played Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton. But that's beside the point. And Jay, I mean, we have to bring it up. Like, Will does have a point though, in that there's a lot of people, and it's easy to do so since they lost. They're sitting here going, man, you signed Matt Rule to this massive extension because he's supposedly getting courted to other jobs. And once again, ahead of the biggest month of the season. And in all of your actual true tests, Nebraska did not look good in any of them.
Yeah.
And that's just a realistic conversation that we need to have at some point.
I mean, yeah,
it's not a fun one to have, and it's not.
It's not. I mean, there's always going to be distractions. There's distractions this week, whether Dylan's going to transfer or not. There's distractions when you at that time Nebraska was doing well and Penn State fired their coach, and there's obviously a direct connection. With, whether it's realistic or not, it was made real by media outlets and so forth and so on. And then you sign him to an extension, which, that's more of a long-term. I'm assuming, I can't speak for Troy or anybody, but I'm assuming it's, okay, I see that your long-term vision. I believe in what you're doing beyond this year. You don't sign with you don't, well, you do sometimes in a like Lashley down in SMU or something like that. But so that's where you're at. And sure, people are going to be very upset at it because, you didn't finish well. No matter who was at quarterback, and when they played USC, I mean, USC was winning the game before Dylan got hurt, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it doesn't really matter, so sure. I'm not a big believer in firing the staff, and here's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
And okay, now you can be right, but here's what I'm saying. But here's what I'm saying. Unless it's a guarantee, instant 12-game guaranteed turnaround by a new coach or a new coordinator, you are essentially starting over at whatever coordinator, whatever side of the ball you're doing. You're starting over, because then, okay, you fast forward a year. Well, then you're going to hear, well, we just got a new coordinator. Well, then you're going to be pissed off again next year. So until it's a combination. Everybody has to understand we have to do better. Okay, everybody can say it. Now you got to do it. You get what I mean? Right.
I do. I think both these things can be true, because I agree with.
That's what I said. I know we're both right.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying just be careful what you ask for.
I'm not calling for anybody's job. You're talking about listeners.
Yeah. Just be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee. And everybody can get better, but everybody's got to understand we got to do better. You got to think harder. You got to grind a little bit more. You got to maybe look for some outside resources. You got to dig in and roll up your sleeves and get your ass going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all there is to it. Players and coaches. Because hold on,
that's fine. Keep going.
You can say like a 3-man front or 4-man front. Well, if you line up getting your ass kicked, it don't matter how many what front you're doing. And this is not me like dogging on them. I'm not a hater and all that. Like, if you play football long enough, you took some L's. Okay. All right. There's a reason why, it was personal between Eddie George, because he got me one time. You're going to get your butt kicked. But, the play is just a start. That's just gets you started. That's what people don't understand. Sure, there's great play callers out there. Bill Walsh was great. Andy Reid's great. Whoever is known as Lane Kiffin or whatever, right? The play is what gets you started. Okay? It puts things in motion. It's up to you to make that motion move like the ocean. You know what I'm saying? Just because you call a play and I'm in a defense that's set up in theory not to stop you. Well, if I decide I'm going to stop you and you're okay with letting me doing it and vice versa, it doesn't matter what the front is. My pad level doesn't matter what the front is. If I'm catching blocks, if I'm catching the runner that's running, you know what I'm saying? If I'm catching him, okay, and not delivering, and I'm not a striker, and I'm not a hitter, and I'm not giving up my body for it, Okay, it don't matter. That's the honest to God truth. I mean, within reason. Now, if you're running like dime defense and they got like the goal line in there, well then sure that goes upstairs. But I'm just talking about just in like 20-20 when it's a white knuckle game. There's no fair dodging, man. These guys ain't changed their playbook since I've been back in Nebraska, and that's been since 2012. So we're going. It's the same offense.
I think the biggest thing for me, Jay, is because I 100% agree with you. Like at some point, it's like 11 on 11, and you got to go make a play. Yeah. And that was a big issue for Nebraska. I think this year it's been Nebraska's issue the last couple of years is that they've had one or two guys on each side of the ball that can go make a play or that will go make a play. But you need more. Like when you get into a game like today, you need 8, 9. Like you got it. But with that being said. And as this is not me calling for anybody's job, we can all sit here and say that there was some inexcusable decisions in terms of play calling and who you put the ball in the hands of and who's out there defensively and who you bring in and who you decide to retain. Like those are all conversations that they all work in sync, right? Because if coaches, let's say, if Matt Rule and his coordinators, whoever they are going forward, which let's plan Dana Holgorsen and John Butler, if those three with Pat Stewart, who you specifically brought in to be the GM this upcoming offseason, sit in a room and look at each guy and go, bring him back, let him go, bring him back, let him go. And in terms of NIL and who you want to bring back in, those are the guys you got to ride with in November in a game like this. You cannot misidentify and only bring them in because of what they could give you in August, but it's got to be the entire 12-game slate. And like there are guys out there that love to be here in August and September when you're whooping Houston Christian's ass and you're shutting out Akron and you're doing all this thing in 95-degree weather. But then in the moments when you need them most, they do not show up. That goes on, yes, the players, but then also understanding and having the ability to identify talent. Yeah. And Nebraska's staff, Matt Rule, has misidentified on coaches the last couple of years. If you look at the turnover in the coaching staff the last 3 years, it has been astronomical. I mean, we're talking all the way back to Bob Wager and Garrett McGuire, and for whatever reason, there's many of them of why they're no longer on staff. There has been misidentification at the staff, and maybe John Butler and Dana Holgorsen are proud of that. I don't know. It's not my job to decide.
Right.
But then also, you go on to the players, and there's been misidentification going back to Jeff Sims to now guys on this roster and the way that they've handled guys on this roster, choosing to redshirt players last year, thinking that it would be better for their development. And maybe they're not even ready to go this year. What were you doing for the last 12, 16 months? There's a lot here that after these last 2 weeks and after the last month and a half where you go 3-3, when you had everything you wanted in front of you, all these opportunities in front of you, and it's a colossal failure, and you missed out so much.
Yeah, I mean, it's everything's on the table when you don't finish like you want to finish, right? I mean, let's just be honest. But then also you have to make sure I try to do that, and I'm not perfect at this. I try to not majority of the times I made mistakes on my own. It's been out of impulse and emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what's going through everybody's veins right now.
Yeah.
Right? I heard it walking over here. You see people honking. Everybody's just ready to get the heck out of here and get home.
We saw it in the middle of the fourth quarter in the stadium.
Right? But you can't make those decisions out of impulse. You got to really look at the whole picture, because if it only takes these last 2 weeks to say, okay, we got to do it. This is probably something like hopefully you've been thinking about for a while, but you would like to see, okay, how can we Band-Aid it and make it better towards the end, right? You know, and it's not even a talent thing. It's maybe just like guys that really like to grind, or maybe you got to bring it out of them. Sometimes, you know, everybody wants to talk about the Jay Foremans, the Jason Peters, the Amon Greens, the Joel Macavickas, and all these guys as we left, right? But we had to learn how to grind through guys that either were on the team or were here on the team, guys that were former players that had to really be there and push us through it, when we were probably kind of tiptoeing whether we want to do it. You get what I'm saying? And then, you know, and that's part of the process. Now, it's like a lot of things, like you said. But then also it's a time if I will say this, if I'm Matt Rule, right, or if Matt Rule says I believe in these coaches, okay, then okay, he believes in the coaches, then they got to get in and figure it out what we got to do better. Because let's be honest, I know everybody's mad at the coaches, mad at the players, mad at the season, mad at Iowa, mad at the Big Ten because we played on Saturday night or whatever it is last week. Okay, that's fine. But really, nobody's out. None of these coaches are trying not to do well. Right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, but
because here's what I'm saying. I remember Coach Osborne telling me this. He apologized to the early teams in the 70s because he didn't know what he was doing. There was a time here that they were trying to get rid of Coach Osborne. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously it worked out real dang well, right? So whatever they want to do, they got to just dig in. I mean, this isn't a time. I mean, I know they probably got recruiting. I don't know, whatever. You got signing day next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay. So this is time to dig in. This is actually where you really learn a lot. You get what I'm saying? Like you're pushed into the corner right now. Now it's probably reluctantly because the offseason built up a lot of expectations, right? It did.
It did, but from who? It wasn't even like we can't even blame ourselves. Jay,
nobody. There's no blame at the end. It's circumstance. It's the media. It's being out there all the time. The players, right?
There you go.
It's the national media. It's the schedule, right? And how you ended the season,
yeah.
right? Which is obviously a good thing, right? So you just assume you're on the uptick. Okay, so that's where the disappointment. So now you got to really dig in, and now that backs you even more into the corner now, right? Because now you're up there. You're going to have anybody that wants any clickbait or anything like that just throwing daggers at you, right? Now you earned it, so you got to eat it. Mm-hmm. But when you backed into a corner, all right, and you believe in what you're doing, you got to dig in. And I'm talking about really dig in. You got to really probably thinking about doing stuff that you're not so comfortable doing. I mean, that's right.
Yeah.
That's whatever that may be or whatever it is.
But is that not the mentality? I mean, it was for you guys. I get that. But like, should that not be the mentality after you lose a one possession game to Michigan when you feel like you shouldn't have? Back in September?
Well, sure. But I mean, when you're in the season, it's a different than now you have like a mini.
Yeah, you have 4 weeks.
Yeah. So this is where you got to really, you're able to go, you could realistically go back and watch every play of every game 5 times. You get what I'm saying?
So I 100% agree.
And this is just moving forward. So either you revamp and come out with like Nebraska 2025 2.0 with this last thing. And it's not, and sometimes it might not be like wholesale changes, right? It's got to be like, okay, we are going to really focus on even more the minor details.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Kalen DeBoer said it too.
Mm-hmm.
He said we went back to work after Florida State and we dug into every single play, every single step, and graded it from there because everything is important.
Yeah, I just think, and once again, I'm not trying to be overly emotional about this because I think we have talked. I mean, you and I have talked about just the big picture conversation on every single pregame show that we've done. And so trying to keep emotion out of it, I look back and now go, there's nobody to not assess blame. That's fine. But like the accountability piece of it is there's nobody that is accountable other than the people that are in that room or in that building. You can't blame.
Because we play the game or they play the game.
Yeah, like accountability from fans. They did their part. They traveled. That was the biggest storyline of all season. Was that fans were out to Maryland, fans went to UCLA, fans went to Penn State, fans showed up at home. And then it's like you continuously ask them over and over to do this part, and they always will, right? Yeah. But there's you can hold the outside noise accountable, or you can blame the outside noise about the schedule. If they're putting all that stock though, Jay, like into what Joe Schmo at the local grocery store is saying, like at some point there's got to be bigger walls, stronger walls built up. And that starts, I think, with the leaders, whether that's the veteran leadership on the team, which goes back to the ability to identify captains, players to come in and lead your sides of the ball. Starts with coaches and all the administrators in there. Like, I just look at that and go, if the fragility of the program the last decade plus. And Matt Rule, he says time and time again that he doesn't want to be compared to what happened before he got there. It's really hard not to when a lot of the same things are happening. And the records speak for themselves. This is not just us trying to throw something against the wall and hoping it sticks. You're 2-10 in November, dude. You're 2-10 in one of the most important months during your season when you're trying to fight for postseason opportunities. You're 2-10. And the two teams that you've beaten are ones that, frankly, you should beat in UCLA and Wisconsin last year. And so up until you prove that you're something else, at the end of the day, man, I just look and go, we have to say the same things we said with previous regimes. You are what your record says you are.
Yeah. And you got to eat it, and you got to learn and you got to learn from it. They say you don't want to let it define you, but you got to actively try to fix it. I mean, you do because
you do.
Because if you don't,
but that starts in December.
Because if you don't try to fix it, then it's just going to be rinse and repeat.
100%.
Right? It's no different. And I'll keep going back to I wasn't a Nebraska fan. I remember where Nebraska couldn't compete with the Florida teams.
Yeah.
Well, they actually really changed their defense. That literally wholesale changes it to their defensive philosophy. They changed their recruiting philosophy, right? Because they had to fix the defense.
Yeah.
Like clockwork. So, I mean, you have to you got to identify the things that you need to fix. And if it's at different levels, it could be whatever. And you got to actively go to work, man. I mean, it's tough because you look back and you say, okay, the Minnesota game, right? That's probably out of all the losses. That's the most realistic game where you was like, you know what? We dookie you down the leg. So you show up with the one thing you can control, your mind right, intention for battle. Mm-hmm. And then you always wonder what would the outcome of that game would be. And you start to wonder, okay, if we won that game, we're already at 8 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're playing with house money now. Does that change? And so, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, senior day, I mean, straight up. I mean, I was, look, man, senior day. It's a great play. You got a lot of stuff that in there. And look, you've made progress, okay, but not the much. Like thinking about it realistically, okay, you made progress from year 1 to year 2. Realistically, right? You made progress from year 2 to year 3, but it's not the same progress as you made from year 1 to year 2. Just based on the schedule.
Yeah.
And based on how you ended it. So now you got to figure out where you're in that hard area. And for you golfers out there, obviously we ain't going to be playing golf no more, but you a golfer out there, when you try to go from when you talk to guys, when you're trying to go from like a 6 handicap to scratch, that's the hardest part to go. So you're trying to get from
really good to perfect.
Like from a legit, decently good team to a really good program. Right. And it's not just so that's where we're at. And so in order to do that, it's those things. It could be, it could be like, okay, how do I interact with people? How much do I really, invest in my craft, which if I'm a player outside of it, right? How much sacrifice am I doing? Am I sacrificing less or more from the beginning of the season to now? Right? Am I recovering all that? Am I asking the right questions, or am I just sitting back thinking I got it? Am I ready to play, or am I waiting to be told I'm playing? All those things are what gets you to there. And it's not just one person. And I know you mentioned okay, we need a guy to go make a play and all that. The best defense, guys make plays. You make the plays that you're supposed to make, and then you go play football. You never leverage a block. You leverage the damn ball. There's one ball out there. Go get it. And what I mean by football plays are, I know me and you were in there, and I was coming at us. I'm in constant communication, Nick. If you're my defensive tackle or defensive tackles, how are you getting blocked? Or because we're making adjustments. Because as much as you want to blame the coordinators, we're the only 11 dudes out there. And primarily it's just the front 7. So we got to figure it out. Because we can't depend on the safeties to come down and save us. So that's where they need to get to is the accountability and then togetherness, and they really only got one game, and they got to get over it real quick.
Yeah, we're approaching the top of the hour. We've been waiting patiently. Let's see if Chase is still there. Chase, I really appreciate your patience. What's on your mind, my friend?
What's up, Nick? How you guys doing?
Good, man. What's up?
So I think I'm going to take more of a level-headed approach for kind of how I viewed this game and the season for Nebraska. Just watching last week, comparing it to this week, it looked like we were a lot tougher team today than we were last week. And I still think Penn State's a lot better than Iowa was. But I just want to ask you guys this. It felt like in the first quarter watching the game, the stadium was buzzing. It kind of died off toward the second half. And then when that Barney situation on the punt happened, it just felt like it deflated this team. And what I wonder is that an issue just kind of with the age of this team and the inexperience, or is there something else going on that I'm not seeing clear out here in Chadron, Nebraska?
Are you asking in terms of like how quickly it just felt like I don't want to say gave up, but felt like they had such a steep hill to climb, like the fragility of the team?
Yeah, it felt like they gave up, quite frankly. It
Okay.
felt like an inexperienced team just got punched in the face in a way that they didn't think would happen. And it just, from there on, it wasn't pretty, to say the least.
All right, appreciate that, Chase. Before we get to that, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Once again, Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman with you here on the Jay Foreman Postgame Show, brought to you by Anderson Ford of Lincoln, Vinny Kreekak, and Baumgars. Jay, let's dive into that here, because in game 12, is anybody that's playing meaningful minutes and roles, are they still classified as inexperienced in your mind?
No. After six games, you're no longer inexperienced or a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you're not going to be perfect, So
yeah.
No, but TJ Latif's deal is a little bit different. But generally, if I started game one or played a lot in game one or played plays from game one or game two or whatever on, I'm no longer a freshman.
Yeah.
And, really is about grit, and toughness and all the things that you can control. At some point, you got to just decide I'm tired of being tired, and I'm tired of getting my ass kicked.
Yeah.
And I don't need you to be like getting out here fighting and get like personal fouls. At some point in time, like, all right, let's I'm gonna bring it, and I'm gonna keep bringing it, and we're gonna see. But yeah, it was disappointing, and it came a steep hill to climb, and Iowa just started. They were just like a python. Once they got you down, boy, they just started tightening, and it was tough because then you start to press, and then you understand that they sit on the ball, and they have something that they've been doing against you all day, and kind of getting timely runs and enough runs to keep you off balance.
Right now at Baumgars, their 3-day deal is going on through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools, and top clothing brands like Carhartt and Noble Outfitters all at amazing prices. Don't forget Cyber Monday for more great deals, and enjoy the 3-day sale today through Sunday at Baumgars, located in Lincoln at 56th and Cornhusker Highway, also across the entire state of Nebraska. Jay, when we come back, we have one more phone call that's on the line, or rather two more phone calls on the line that we can get to as we continue to break this down, my friend.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. Jay Foreman Postgame Show. We'll be right back.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Lake Road. Back 9 Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
3 days of deals you don't want to miss. It's Baumgar's 3-day deals. This Friday through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like Noble Outfitters, Ariat, and Carhartt, all at amazing prices. Keep your pets happy and your livestock thriving with Baumgar's exclusive feed. And don't forget Cyber Monday, December 1st for even more great deals at Baumgars.com. Baumgar's 3-day deals this Friday through Sunday.
Nutrition Authority invites you to enjoy internet-crushing prices at the Black Friday Blitz. We already offer better than internet pricing, but from Monday, November 24th to Saturday, November 29th, we're slashing them even deeper. The Black Friday Blitz at Nutrition Authority. For location info, check us out on mynutritionauthority.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at CoppellCars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals, and get your lift on with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer, participating dealers, restrictions may apply.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Back to the Jay Foreman Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by Baumgars, Anderson Ford, and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance. Here are your hosts, Jay Foreman and Nick Sainer.
What up? We're back, Jay Foreman Postgame Show. This is the second hour. We are waiting to get some calls in, right?
Oh, yeah, we got a couple more. We got Ricky on the line. Ricky, thanks for being patient, my friend. What's on your mind? What are you thinking?
Okay, this is what I'm thinking. I believe we need new offensive and defensive coordinators. Okay, and here's my reasoning behind that. Okay, situational football. Before the end of the half, before they scored the last time Iowa, it's 3rd and 8 with the wind blowing in Iowa's face. Who in the world sends a blitz? Why do you blitz in that situation? Beyond me. No. So they end up running a quarterback, getting all these yards, and they end up scoring a touchdown. Okay? And then we're running the ball on them the whole game. It's 3rd and 4, 2nd and 4, and you're not running the ball. We're averaging over 4 yards a carry. Well, I don't get it. To be competitive in the Big Ten or the SEC or any other league in college football, you have got to surround yourself with great coordinators. I mean, look at the coordinators you hired for special teams. Miraculous come around. We were one of the best special teams in the nation this year, all because you got a great coordinator.
Appreciate that, Ricky. I will once again, I will agree with Ricky in this conversation. I mean, there's certainly questions to be had about some of the in-game decisions, Jay. One is even in the last moment of the game. Let's see, I'm trying to find the drive here. Right here. Last offense possession. I get game was over, right? You were down. There was 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Nebraska's on the Iowa 2-yard line, I believe. And TJ Latif's hurt, sure. So if you need to put in a backup quarterback, that's fine. Whatever. And take away like the personal feelings for who I'm going to bring up aside, because I don't care about that piece of it. You put in Heinrich Harburg, and instead of handing the ball off to your guy who's averaging 7.5 yards a game and has carried it 29 times for 217 yards and has already scored a touchdown, and just running it right down the throat of a defense like you talk about how you want to do all year long, you keep it with a guy that has 2 touches on the entire day, and that was his second touch. It's those types of things. I get the game was over. I understand it's Heinrich Harburg's senior day. Maybe you're just wanting to get him a touchdown. I just don't understand it. And I feel like that's a mentality thing.
Yeah.
Whether you're down 40-16, whether you're down by 3 points, or whether you're up 40-16. Like, that's that mentality that I asked you about before in the pregame in our segment, where I was like, is Nebraska capable of that? And from players to coordinators to coaches, like, it's moments like those that make fans, I think, pause and hesitate on whether or not they do.
Yeah, I mean, it's more a standard. We're going to handle business the same way you're down by 24. We're going to handle it the same way if we're up by 24.
And maybe that's easier said than done, right? Especially when you're getting your face beat in. And
yes and no. I mean, Emmett, really, if you're going to reward anybody, if that was the reasoning, it would be Emmett, because he essentially, was carrying you on your back all day, or carrying you on his back all day,
all season
or whatever. And so you'd like to have seen, that you would like to, it wouldn't be a big deal if Heinrich didn't fumble it. No, not as big as deal.
Yeah, not as big of a deal, because even if you would have gotten stopped short,
you could go back.
You could go back.
Yeah,
but we'd all still be sitting there going, why the hell did you run?
But then it's worse when he fumbles.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because that's avoidable. Like,
Emmett could have fumbled. You just don't know. You don't want to limit. You don't want to have any
I get that
leeway.
I understand.
You get what I'm saying? Because that's why you give it to Emmett.
Yeah, you get it to a guy that hasn't fumbled since week 2 of the season in the first quarter. And he's had 30 touches a game.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about volume of touches across the entire season. We can just do simple math at like 25 touches a game on average. And since game 2, 250 touches, give or take another 50. Emmett hasn't fumbled it, and you've been asking him to do a heck of a lot more than anybody else on this team.
Right. And I think, it magnifies. It's just like I think it was the Michigan game, we got stopped on 4th and 1. The decision is good when you make it. It's the worst decision ever if you don't, right? So there's really no ifs, ands, or what's about it. If Heinrich doesn't fumble, or if Heinrich scores, it's like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And maybe that's the problem.
No, the fact that he fumbled is the problem, and then that magnifies the decision. So it's results based. And so the way you eliminate that is you kind of go, first of all, Emmett was running the thing.
Yeah.
He was running it. So, I mean, I think it's more of a standard thing, and kind of really, lock in on what you are and who you want to be, and you're not going to change for anybody. And that's probably what you're saying. And it's a hard thing to do, because you got to do it all the time. What you do sometimes is what you would do all the time under pressure. That's the way it is in sports. That's why fundamentals are so important. And those are fundamentals in your belief system as well. That's what makes Iowa so, like, I won't say dangerous, but what makes them have the ability to kind of compete is because their belief system and who they are, they're not changing. They could play USC, they could go play Ohio State, they can play Nebraska, they could play Appalachian State. They're gonna play the same. You know what I'm saying? And if they get off track, they have enough experience with it. They know how to get right back onto it.
Let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Steve on the line. Steve, thanks for holding, my friend. What's on your mind?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I just want to touch on a couple of things. Why do we continue to play a quarterback that is maybe, 60, 70%? A 100% guy is not going to do a better job than somebody at 70. I mean, tells me that if somebody's hurt, you're going to probably key off on that guy. You're going to come after him. You're going to, regulate what he does. So we put Harburg in at the goal line. What happened to the wedge formation? Can't we wedge the ball in from the half-foot line to get a touchdown? That was the most disturbing thing. And then why we continue to play a quarterback that's at 70%, I don't understand it. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Put a 100% player in there and see what he can do. Give somebody else a shot. He's hurt. He's stumbling around. I mean, come on. Let's put somebody in that can do something. That's all I got, guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Let's start with
We already answered the Harburg.
Yeah, the Harburg. Maybe it would have been also better from a mentality standpoint if he would just snuck it up the middle. Because then you can somewhat justify the idea of all right, Latif's hurt visibly. You trust
Harburg can't make nobody miss really.
And frankly, your offensive line, I know we've touched on this in previous pregame shows, and there's a lot of people still arguing about the offensive line and how they suck. I tweeted out, I stand by it. Nebraska's offensive line, especially from guard to guard, they were playing some big boy football in that first half, and you could see it. Emmett Johnson was reaping the fruits and stuff. Yeah. And so, in this moment, though, going back to the mentality thing, you could have snuck it right up the middle, and just made it simple.
At the end of the day,
it wouldn't have changed the outcome.
It's magnified by the fumble, and it's kind of like, see, I told you. You know what I mean? That's
you're right.
What people. That's
you're
what,
right.
That's what you're.
Of course,
see? You're right. So it's more or less it's outcome based reaction.
But isn't that what all this is, though? Isn't that what matters? The results, the outcome.
The results is the only thing that matters. But sure, yeah.
Because it's have the correct result.
It's no different if the play went in and it was under pressure and you kind of ran it. Oh, that's a great play call.
But I'm saying, through all of this, it's results based, and then you justify the process if you need to.
Yeah.
And so
standard or whatever.
So I guess now it's time for the justification of it from the coaches.
Yeah.
And it's so much more than just the Harburg thing. I'm not talking about.
Well, that's just the lasting one. So everybody's focused on that.
Yeah.
When really everything was.
Oh, there was so much more to it. And that's why I was more so I'm sitting here going, all right, this is next week is justification time. And I'm not sure there really is anything that they can really say.
You can't justify it. You got to say, this is a time to. You don't even really have to be in a quote unquote open book. You just got to say, hey, look, man. We got to get. We're actively identifying what we need to fix before the bowl game or whatever, however their situation is. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got the early sign-in period, and you say we're actively, working on trying what we got to fix. And we're going through that process right now. Because if you try to justify how you played against Iowa. There's no reason. You can't, because there's no justification by losing to Iowa by 24 points.
No.
So you got to really do what you have to do. And that's, it's kind of whether you want to call it fall on the sword, take accountability and all that. And then you say, look, we got to do better. But then you got to actively go to work to do it. It's more or less now, again, it is results based. You can't tell me anymore. You got to show me. Because if you want to apologize for the effort, what's the best apology? Changing your actions. Mm-hmm. How do you change your actions? You got to actively go in and not do 100% different. Maybe do what you're doing better and then add something to it and then go from there.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Nope. All right. Once again, let's hear Matt Rule's opening statement after Nebraska's 40-16 loss to the Hawkeyes.
I certainly understand how that feels to all the great fans that we have. The student section that's full. People come to the game. And I understand their disappointment. I understand our team's disappointment. I think when you end the season the way we have the last two games, it has to rest solely on me. And I've loved this team. I love everything about them. I certainly didn't think today would go that way. Thought we came out ready to play. And in the end, they were the better football team. So I don't shirk that. I own that. I'm responsible for it. I understand that in times like this, it can get a little bit negative. And I just say, honestly, all that should all be directed at me. I don't want the players to panic. It shouldn't go towards them. Shouldn't go towards the coach. I think it has to fall on me. We want to be a team that gets better at the end of the year. And these last two games have not been that. So I take that and I own that, and I'll answer all your questions.
Once again, Matt Rule post Nebraska, Iowa. There was his opening statement. All right, then let's I guess do what Matt Rule asked us to do. And not to I'm not piling on here, but just calling it what it is. Like, this is a massive couple of months here for Nebraska. It is massive. Just like last offseason going into the bowl game, that time was huge. You're going to have new guys that sign next Wednesday joining you for bowl game practices. You're going to have additional recruiting and transfer portal and re-recruitment of the roster conversations that happen on Monday. Like, these are going to be things that happen, and the decisions, as we're seeing nowadays in college football, the decisions and the way you operate as a coaching staff away from the field in December and now January in the portal, now that there's no second window, it's solely January. How you operate and the decisions you make as a collective staff and the people that you choose to put into key roles, i.e. general manager, the things and the decisions that you guys make are going to either help you and reward you in November, or they are going to hurt you throughout August to November.
Yeah, your 2026 season starts right now, but the present day team is part of it. It's a look-see into the future, and if there's like little wrinkles or just if you're actively changing or adjusting some things that you're doing. You'll see it on the early signing period. You'll see it in the portal signing period. I'll see in January. You'll see how some players react to this last two games. Is it we? Is it me? As far as or is it you?
Yeah.
Right? Because it's very easily, if you're not playing, you guys lost. Yeah, you guys did it. Now everybody's in it. Or is it me? Do I need to do better? Or we need to do better? That'll let you know, and that's not really a coaching thing. And I know Coach Rule is going to, take the blame for it, but players are just as much as part of it as he is. Now he's got to take the blame for it because he's got to be the guy that goes in the front of the cameras, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he's the head coach, and so he's going to get all the accolades and all the blame, when you win and lose. And it's disappointing. I mean, I'm sure the players are disappointed in themselves. They can't be disappointed in anything else. You can't be disappointed. Iowa came in here ready to play. You're just probably disappointed yourself if you didn't live up to your expectations.
Protect yourself from the unexpected. I think this is unexpected today. Contact Vinny Kreekak and his team at State Farm for a personal price plan to take the guessing out of insurance. Call Vinny Kreekak at State Farm today at 402-474-1173. Let's head back to the Honda of Lincoln hotline before we take another timeout. We've got Zach on the line. Zach, appreciate you holding. What's on your mind, my friend?
Hey, guys. How's it going? And I just wanted to talk a little bit about in the trenches on the defensive line. And maybe this is a question directed maybe towards Jay, because he was a great linebacker for a number of years, and he probably knows the X's and O's of this. But the 3-3-5 defense that we continue to keep on running, we always keep lining up 3 guys on the down line when we're going up against 6 offensive linemen, sometimes 7 offensive linemen. Now, what kind of pressure does that do for the linebackers in the backfield when you got 3 down linemen going up against 6, sometimes 7 offensive linemen? What does that do for a linebacker, and how much pressure does that put on linebackers to be able to get off blocks?
Thanks, Zach.
I said before the game, the linebackers have to play well. If you're going 3 down, I guess you can count the Jack's position as 4, and they got 6. Then you got to win. This isn't, and the reason why say you got to win is that you got to defeat a block, and you're going to have to either make a play or get in on a play against the run game, whether you're on play side or backside. Sometimes when you're in a 3-4 alignment and you're a stack linebacker, that means you're not on the line of scrimmage. You can, I've played in 3-4 defenses where you kind of button press and 2-gap guys and you build a wall, and you're really just creating a bunch of one-on-one, opportunities. So your nose guards got to win, your 5 techniques got to win, you got your outside backer, so you have a little bit more going with it. So at a linebacker in a 3-3-5, number one, you got to be extremely physical. You got to be fast. You got to be nasty, but you have to know exactly what you're doing. You have to know exactly what the offense is doing. You got to know what the defensive line is doing based on what the offensive line is going to do based on the defensive front you're playing. And you got to know all the checks because your gaps move on, it all moves on the move. And then also you got to know your players that you're playing with. Some guys have certain weaknesses and you have to be able to play off of it. That doesn't mean you go to the coach and say he can't play because he makes a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has weaknesses. The best players know how to hide their weaknesses and then obviously accentuate what they're doing in the positive way. And when you play linebacker in a 3-3-5, you gotta be selling out and you gotta be a headhunter. Especially if you're in the middle. There's no fair dodging. All 5 guys are going to be able to take a shot at you, and you got to meet force with force.
What is Matt Rule's message to the fan base? We come back in 3 minutes here on the Jay Foreman Postgame Show. We'll play that for you. Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
3 days of deals you don't want to miss. It's Baumgar's 3-day deals. This Friday through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like Noble Outfitters, Ariat, and Carhartt, all at amazing prices. Keep your pets happy and your livestock thriving with Baumgar's exclusive feed. And don't forget Cyber Monday, December 1st for even more great deals at Baumgars.com. Baumgar's 3-day deals this Friday through Sunday.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Back to the Jay Foreman Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by Baumgars, Anderson Ford, and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance. Here are your hosts, Jay Foreman and Nick Sainer.
I don't want to say anything right now that's other than what I said at the beginning, because I think people have a right to be upset, okay, with how it ended. For me, all I can say is I had some of the best recruits here today. I'm going to continue to work. I'm working as hard as I can, as long as I can. I want to surround myself with really positive people, not toxic people, and just try to continue to move the program forward. This group of guys is the first team to be bowl eligible 2 years in a row since 2013, 2014. So is it enough? No. But is it better than it was? Yes. So, but if I'm a fan right now, I'm walking away. I'm mad. So I'm walking away mad. I'm not saying I'm walking off the field. Some people are supporters. Like, good for them. Like they're passionate about this place. I love being the head coach of University of Nebraska. I love being in Nebraska because people are passionate about this. So I don't want my message to be anything other than, I don't want it to be hope and all. It's like, yeah, it wasn't good enough, man. But if I start playing with positives, it's like, all right, Matt, but I think today just has to be that. Please don't be like super toxic at the players, because I want them to just put it on me. Like, I'm in charge of this, Troy and them, they extended me. Like, they believe in what we're doing. And then all of a sudden we come down the stretch, we lose these last two games. I'm pissed off at myself. Like, I don't, but I know where we're headed. I know what we're doing. I know where we're moving forward. And so I believe in what we're doing. I believe in the recruits that are bought into us. I believe in the signing class Wednesday. And so I don't want to overreact. But these last two games weren't good enough. We'll get a really good bowl game versus a quality team. We'll catch our breath. I hope all those Husker fans just say, you know what, let's go somewhere warm, hopefully, and be in a bowl game. And then let's celebrate signing day on Wednesday. Let's go back and look at the fun moments we had this year. And then, we'll continue to move forward, and we'll continue to build the thing. But I don't want it to be anything else for me other than, like, I understand, and losing these last two games the way we've lost them is not good enough. But that does not minimize the fact that, like, these kids have worked their. I don't say that these kids have worked their, like the Javens of the world and those guys. All they dreamt about was going to a bowl game, and now they're going to two in a row, and not like with a waiver. Like, they've earned their way into it. Disappointed with how it ended, but we'll continue to work and figure it out.
There's the Matt Rule message to the fan base.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you can be disappointed, but then be realistic that they're better. Maybe not as good as they wanted to be or should be, but they're better. And so they're taking steps, and obviously everybody wanted to leap this year, and you only made a step. And so you got to figure out why, and then get back to work and keep building your program. Now, it's a steep hill next year with that schedule. So we got to get busy. But, right now in the moment, like I said, you never want to be over emotional and impulsive, because then you say or do something that you necessarily don't mean, or regret. And he's not lying in the sense of that, they're better. Things are moving in the right direction. Now, are they moving as fast as, the 80,000 people that are at the game? Probably not. As fast as he wanted to, most likely not. And so then you got to figure out how to, catch up. So when you look at it, we're in a leg of the race, and say each year, you're running the 400, even Steven the 400, gain some in the second leg, and then the third one is obviously important. And so you probably lost a little ground, right? Obviously, probably expected 8-4 or better this year, 7-5. Didn't end in the last, last 6 games, right? And then so you're trying to figure it out how to make up that ground and keep moving forward.
I even think it's less about. I mean, in all honesty, we talked about the results and stuff. They matter the most, because it's things that you can point to, and with that, the win number, the win total, being at 7 or 8, potentially 9 if you really want to be steep, and whether or not that constitutes a successful season. But I mean, Jay, I think more so it's you look at the quality of competition that you were able to beat versus the ones that you weren't able to beat. And I think maybe for fans, what I'm seeing on the text line and stuff, that's what's most alarming is, I mean, you had 2 wins this season over 2 bowl eligible teams, 2 of your 7 teams, I guess that would count 5 of your 7 wins are against teams that aren't playing postseason, aren't playing the postseason. That's what you expect to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think, you said at the beginning of the show, and I thought it was really good about not being emotional and don't just take just these last 2 weeks, look at the season as a whole and really in totality. I think there's a lot of people that are doing that, and that doesn't make them feel any better right now. Rightfully so,
Yeah,
understandably
you're not gonna feel any
so.
better right now, yeah.
Because you look back and go, okay, what can we hang our hat on? Yeah, okay, yeah. In the regular season, we're 1 win better, but guess what? If you fall in the bowl game, then you're exactly in terms of just results on the surface, you're in the same exact spot as you were a calendar year ago at that point.
Right. And well, then all 7 or 8 win seasons or teams aren't created equal, because there is
100%.
There is the Michigan State magical year. Next year they were horrible for obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, I think right now you got to. Everybody should be emotional. If he's mad, I'm sure the coaches are mad. I'm sure the players are mad, disappointed, and he wants to protect the players as he should. He's the leader of the team. He's the head coach, so he has to deal. He has to take everybody else's kind of deal, stuff. But then also you can be realistic and say we're making strides. Now, is it the strides that maybe he forecasted or wanted in year 3, or anybody expected in year 3? Probably most likely not, but that doesn't mean you're not making steps in the right direction. So I think, right now the best thing to do, it's the 24-hour rule. This is probably going to be a little bit longer than 24 hours. You got to say 48 hours. So come Sunday or whatever, you gotta dig in, because I'm sure they got recruits in town this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they got some transfer portal guys going to start dipping their head around here, especially with bowl practice. You got signing day on Wednesday. It's a look-see into 2026, and then when you actively start getting back to practice, the guys that are here are, and obviously the incoming guys are going to be able to practice. This is the really good way to really, some of the things that you come up with that you want to tweak or change, to implement them. It's a free, like, spring ball essentially before you go play a game, and then you're able to try to put that on display, to get your 8th win. And so, there's nothing that you're going to say to make people feel good by losing the 24 points to Iowa. What you're going to do is internally is deal with it, recognize it, and then actually put action into whatever plan that is.
One of the things I will say tonight, or about this morning's game, and one thing we haven't mentioned yet, is Nebraska's inability to punch the ball into the end zone today. I mean, and it's a whole season type of issue. I remember we talked extensively about it after the Michigan game, talking about red zone issues. Nebraska had 5 drives in the red zone today. 3 of them resulted in a field goal, 1 touchdown out of it. The other one was obviously the fumble by Heinrich Harburg. But ultimately, I mean, now I looked up these statistics going into half, where Nebraska has had 51 red zone drives this season. 15 of them are touchdowns. 20, or excuse me. Let me rephrase that. 26 of them are touchdowns. 15 of them are field goals, and the rest are empty possessions. At that moment, it was like 8 of them are empty possessions. That is something that Nebraska has been really, really bad on the entire season, is being able to convert red zone trips into touchdowns, not even just points, but into touchdowns. You look at Iowa today; they had 6 trips in the Nebraska red zone. 5 touchdowns, 1 field goal. And that was a massive difference to today.
Well, that's the difference in the game right there. Capitalizing on opportunities, and then really cashing in, and really that's either eating into a lead or extending a lead, right? Because you're trading essentially 4 points if you just go red zone visit for red zone visit with the field goals, right? So the 3 field goals versus 3 touchdowns, that adds up, to 12 points right there, just off the rip. And so, the red zone is just by nature a little bit harder to score in. Things are tighter. You don't have to worry about somebody catching an 80-yard touchdown, so there's less ground to cover. So whether it's the execution and philosophy, or a little bit of both, or you really need to get crystal clear on your identity down there, then you gotta go. I like players, not plays down there. And And so, whatever concepts you can come up with to get guys, more opportunities to be the player that they need to be, or whatever concept or philosophy you need to implement to be better in the red zone. But then, where Iowa, I think where they played a little bit better than us in the red zone, and especially I think it's more or less their offense against our defense. We played a little bit too high, I felt at times, and especially in the red zone, especially after they kind of, beat you up a little bit, 5-6 yards of carry, and then get in the red zone. And then that's where, the fundamentals and stuff really probably, shine really bright.
Nebraska as a team, I kind of had to check myself when I read this. Nebraska as a team had 300 total yards of offense. Emmett Johnson was 229 of those yards. I mean, 79% of Nebraska's yards came from number 21 in the backfield. Elsewhere, Dane Key had 3 catches for 16 yards. Luke Lindenmeyer had a couple of grabs, and Isaiah Hunter had 1. Ja'Cory Barney Jr. had 1 catch. Running the ball, Isaiah Mosey, 2 carries, 9 yards. Makai Nelson, 1 carry, 3 yards. Obviously, Heinrich Harburg, 2 carries, 2 yards. And then the TJ Lateef scramble for 2 yards at the start of the game is all there was because of obviously the hamstring getting hurt there. But ultimately, whatever the future holds for Emmett Johnson, Jay, I think it is important now that we are 12 games under and have 12 games under our belt of Emmett Johnson. This was a special year for 21.
Yeah, he had a great year for him. There was questions coming into the season. I remember hearing guys, on different stations, even some on here, like, oh, can he handle 12? I know Emmett personally. That was never a question.
Mm-hmm.
And he just took advantage of his opportunity. Sure. It was when he first came in, he was a little bit smaller, but he worked on his body, and obviously he kept getting better and better and better. And his work is obviously he was willing to work while he waited, reluctantly at times, but he was willing to work while he waited. And he saw the fruits of his labor. He was extremely consistent. He was more than reliable. And down the stretch, the bigger the game, the better he played. You needed him to be, effective against Penn State on the road. He was effective. You needed to have him maybe not to the magnitude of 29 carries, 217 yards, a big game against a 14th overall run-stopping defense in Iowa. They're number 14 in the whole nation, and he obliterated them. He hit him with an explosive run.
170 rushing yards at half against Iowa.
Right.
If you would have told Jay, I think I can speak for both of us here. If somebody would have said, "Hey, Emmett's got 177 at the break,"
yeah, we're up 21-3.
It is over.
Yeah,
it's over because Iowa's not going to score enough to be able to stay in line with that.
So he's done a great job, and you got to tip your hat to him. He stayed consistent. He stayed hungry. He hasn't changed. He
stayed healthy.
He stayed healthy, and he continued to go about his business. And then one thing I can tell you, and he wouldn't mind, is that he sacrificed more as the season went on.
Mm-hmm.
That means he became less available because he became more focused. The only time you saw him get out of his routine was when he was down there at the thing during the bye week.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah, you didn't see
that was it.
Yeah,
I know for a fact.
That's a great point.
That's it. You ain't see him nowhere. He was down like 4 flat tires for the process, and it didn't change until it had to change. And I think that was on a Wednesday or Thursday night.
It was.
Right. And that's when the work week was done. So the work was done before the play was done. And then they showed out there on the field, and you got to tip your hat to him.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Really excited for whatever's next for Emmett because he's got decisions. I mean, there's a decision.
And the great thing about it for him, he's earned the right not to make a bad decision.
100%.
If he comes back, it's a great decision. If he decides to go to the pros, it's a great decision. So he just needs to one. He ain't gonna change. I know that.
No.
I know the kid. He ain't gonna change. He gonna do. That's how we do it. He gonna do his thing, and then when it's time for him to put energy into it, he's not gonna make an emotional decision based on them losing by 24 to Iowa. He's not gonna make an emotional decision because he just had 217 yards. He's gonna deal with it when he has to deal with it, but he's more or less wanting to He's probably going to be there with his teammates because I know this. Emmett obviously knows that he's done well, right? You don't run for all those yards and not know that you hadn't done well. But also know that he probably, he wanted to win, and so that's a part of it. That's a part of his DNA as well.
Yeah, Emmett. I mean, a spectacular year. It's been fun. It's been fun. I mean, it's one of those years we haven't really seen that caliber consistently since 2014. Amir, like that is the conversation. And text line can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the conversation that I kind of put Emmett Johnson's season this year into it. And unfortunately, Nebraska in 2014 was the 9-win team. Nebraska's not going to be able to get there, but hopefully they can get win 8 when the bowl game comes out, and we'll probably find that out next Saturday or rather next Sunday, probably more so than not. If I had to put my chips in a basket, I would imagine it's going to be a Las Vegas Bowl for the Huskers, and we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, a little three-card poker time.
How thrilling!
I mean, when you're thinking about this, like, it's disappointing. And so they just need to deal with it. But I think it's a really good time. I mean, obviously you got recruits in town. I had no idea, so they got to go recruit.
Right?
Yeah,
there was about 22 recruits in town.
Okay.
There was even a surprise visitor that came with your highest rated defensive back commit. Danny Odom brought actually an Omaha guy, Devin Jackson, who is committed to the Oregon Ducks, 4-star defensive back. Brought him to campus today. Like there was some news there.
Yeah. Well, you got to go and recruit, and then when you get to the football stuff, you got to figure out, like, what did well, obviously, with Emmett, and what didn't do well. You got to figure out, like, what's up with Latif. You probably got check Dylan's temperature a little bit, and so it's more housekeeping, and then you got to put together, I guess, a shortened action plan of what you want to see moving forward into 2026. You could use it as a way to really get into it and really, like, I guess take get in there with your staff and, like, really, like, I wouldn't say rehab your staff, but really get into it. Okay, This is what I want. This is what I know from my experience. A, B, C, and D.
Yeah.
You go make my here's what I want you to do. A, B, C, and D. You go make it your own. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I say, Nick, you're coaching linebackers, this is what I expect from my linebackers, 1, 2, 3, 4, but I want you to go own it, right?
Yeah.
It's a great time for that.
I misspoke. It's not Devin Jackson from Omaha. He's on Oregon's roster, but this recruit, that was a surprise visit. Oregon commit Devin Jackson, who is from Orlando, Florida, 4-star defensive back, made a surprise trip to Lincoln. So nobody had that on his radar, but still, I mean, there's something to be said about that. But Nebraska once again falls 40-16 to the Iowa Hawkeyes. Jay, we got one more break before we close things out. We're out of here at 4:00 and handing it off to DP and Harrison before that or after that. But once again, experience better with upfront market-based pricing at Anderson Auto Group of Lincoln, located 27th and I-80 and as well at 33rd and Yankee Hill. What's next, man? Let's take a break.
Yeah, we got to take a quick break. Come back. We'll put a bow on the Jay Foreman postgame show in this Iowa loss.
It's No Shave November at Limitless Male. Let the beard grow and lose weight. If extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Male can help. It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Male will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Nebraska fans, it's game day in downtown Lincoln. Big Ten Sports Bar is your ultimate spot to catch Nebraska football and volleyball with every game on, every screen, all day long. Today, they're bringing the party with Sidetrack Band all day long, and Echo takes over tonight. Doors open bright and early at 8 a.m. Grab breakfast, stay for the game, and keep the night going with full kitchen open until midnight. Big Ten Sports Bar, downtown Lincoln's home for Nebraska sports, fans, good food, and drinks.
Back to the Jay Foreman Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by Baumgars, Anderson Ford, and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance. Here are your hosts, Jay Foreman and Nick Sainer.
What up? We're back, Jay Foreman Post-Game Show. About 5 or 6 minutes before we hopefully turn the table on this. Hey, we got people out there on this Iowa debacle. Fans are still. Some fans were having a good time. They were just.
I'd indulge as well.
Yeah.
If I were them.
Yeah, sometimes
sometimes
that's the best remedy. Just keep
responsibly.
Just keep drinking.
Ubers and Lyfts.
Yeah, and they're walking. They're walking off their drunkenness. But for Nebraska, I think that, again, you got to say, okay, there's nothing that we can do to fix what we just did like today. Now you got to sit there and get a plan together and figure it out and moving forward. And you got a big day coming on Wednesday. You got a big day coming in January, I think it is, right?
Yeah, January 2nd.
Yeah, and then you got to move.
Which
on.
Realistically, probably the week of Christmas is when.
You'll know who you have locked in because I'm sure the contracts will be signed and all that. And
locked in, and then also who's available.
You know who's available here very shortly here after this week because a lot of guys are jumping the portal before the bowl game and still be able to play at their teams, and then Then you got to figure out like where you need to tighten up some things, culture-wise, staff-wise, or game plan-wise, health-wise, and go from there. I mean, right now it's bleak because number one is crappy outside, right? And then you just got your tail kicked, right? So that's number two. But number three, this is not just keeping your head in the sand. This is a great time for you to approach it. Okay, what can I do, and who can I talk to like lessen the curve? And because you got, it's almost like, obviously you talked about the Las Vegas thing, is like you go to the hotel and they give you $500 to gamble for free.
Yeah.
Because really, if you try it, I don't like it, or this and this, I don't like that idea, you're still in like practice mode, right? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And that's actively trying to do it and do things differently, and then try to do it be a better, outcome and performance there moving forward. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do and what they don't do, and obviously the players need to just bounce back from it. I'm sure they're disappointed. It's their last time they were going to play on that field for some guys. But more importantly, you got one more game, and so you got to make it your best. So these next 24, 40 hours are going to be tough.
Not the way we wanted it to go, Jay Foreman.
Nope.
Nebraska loses 40-16. I find myself. I think we find ourselves for the second week in a row going, we did not see that playing out the way it did.
It's a 12-week single chapter book. The last two chapters didn't read like we expected to read. And so now we have the bonus chapter, which we're now allowed to read for about 30 days. So you'll be able to get the bad taste out of your mouth and hopefully get some good vibes going in your body. Jay Foreman, my man, Nick Sainer, another successful season. Appreciate you guys listening. We'll house you here in a little bit. Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
3 days of deals you don't want to miss. It's Baumgar's 3-day deals. This Friday through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like Noble Outfitters, Ariat, and Carhartt, all at amazing prices. Keep your pets happy and your livestock thriving with Baumgar's exclusive feed. And don't forget Cyber Monday, December 1st for even more great deals at Baumgars.com. Baumgar's 3-day deals this Friday through Sunday.
Looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through November at Landmark Implement, choose from a 12-month waiver on model year 2023 through 2025. John Deere 6 through 9 series tractors, sprayers, and combines. Or lock in at 2.9 fixed rate for 36 months, followed by 6.35% for another 36 months. As you're planning ahead for next year's crop, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for details or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com. Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit stonebrookexterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
From the chant of Husker power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
It seems like just the other day, I was building my first house. I've seen many changes to our building market in Lincoln. It's been a fun road.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, we hear this a lot where I don't want to live in a cookie cutter home. Well, let's come up with some answers on what we're going to build, where we're going to build it, and what it's going to cost. One thing that we started doing early on was we started building neighborhoods. I'm a firm believer in character in your street and in your neighborhood. I like choice. I like variation. I like maybe something a little bit different in a neighborhood that you don't see in every neighborhood. I think it's great to have choices, its uniqueness, and I think that's what gives a neighborhood character. And I think that's what we've done over the years.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Welcome to the Husker After Party postgame show.
2 tight ends in the game as well. Raiola with time. There's Nelson. He's got it. And he's into the end zone for the first time in his career. Touchdown, Nebraska.
The Husker After Party postgame show is brought to you by Anderson Ford, Baumgars, and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance.
Emmett Johnson in the game at running back. This is a flip to Ja'Cory Barney. He waits for his block, and he steps in for the touchdown. Second down, done, intercepted. Malcolm Hartzog is second of the year.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is, in fact, not the after party. There's no after party. This is therapy. This is reaction, reaction and overreaction. This is response and then more response. DP Harrison Orange will take you through for as long as you guys want to hang out with us. I think we can do this. We do have a volleyball post game sometime
7:30. Man,
5:30 first serve. Over at Devaney. So they've been running at about 90 minutes. So 90 minutes if done well. It's Penn State. So who knows? But let's see what that is. Andy Monson will come in and carry you through. Are you staying for that? Or is that?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. So you got a full one. And then tomorrow afternoon, you've got Ohio State and Michigan. You got some morning shows, and then Ohio State, Michigan, and then a Huskers post-game show for basketball, and then another late night Huskers volleyball. You got that covered too?
Volleyball, I think that's going to be Tristan on that one.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we got a full weekend's worth, and that sets us up for Sunday, etc. Harrison, let's pay the bills.
Absolutely. This segment sponsored by Anderson Ford of Lincoln. Experience better with upfront market-based pricing at Anderson Auto Group of Lincoln at 27th and I-80 and 33rd and Yankee Hill. Again, that is Anderson Ford of Lincoln.
Appreciate all of you for hanging out. And again, I wanted to keep my palate clean, especially with the text line and with phone calls, because I want listeners who may have just gotten to the car or maybe just got off another stream or just was listening to somebody else.
Or just made it through the post-game traffic.
Well,
sometimes
yeah, right.
Is
right. All of that's in play. But that's important. And I wanted to be fair to the current crop of listeners and texters. I'm going to ask folks to be decent. Because if you want to call in, please just be considerate. And by considerate, just don't curse.
Yeah, you can have emotion.
Just don't curse, right? Just don't curse. Like I want to give folks voice, but I have to trust you to be an adult in it. And the one person who screws it up for everybody else in the queue after them. So 402-464-5685 is the Starter Hammond text line. If you want to call in, you can. We'll take the call, and we're going to bring you in. Caller, DP Harrison. Who's this?
All right, you welcome into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate. Well, this is actually the Husker After Party show. Who do we got? Oh, actually. All right, welcome in to the After Party show. Who do we got on the line right now?
Hey, it's Ernie.
Ernie, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Good, and I'm not going to curse.
Attaboy, Ernie.
I heard him giving.
Attaboy, Ernie.
I just heard the direction.
There we go. Coachable. Coachable matters. We're leaning into that. What's on your head?
Am I live?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I didn't know. Well, I'm just, obviously I'm a lifelong Husker fan. Horrific loss today. I'm going to go to the Buford game tonight. Maybe Dylan's younger brother Dayton can get me a W today in the final couple rounds of the playoffs here in Georgia. But I was disappointed. I think too, like, the media is really soft on Rule. I think it's more now of an athletic director thing, where some skulls need to maybe crack a little bit, like the podcast, the girls volleyball games, the wife's business. Like I want my coach like sleeping on the couch, 2 extra hours in the film room to strategize on a game like today versus having an interview with people who make candy for a podcast. I want the attention to be back on the football team. And I just think, Holgerson, now that I look at it, is more of a retread. Nobody wanted, he got fired. I'm questioning like our offensive coordinator, our defensive coordinator. We gotta fix something, and I'll listen to you guys.
Ernie, thank you, kind sir. Greatly appreciate it. And here's the thing: how you feel is you're not wrong in how you feel. All right, Ernie's not wrong in how he feels about it. You open yourself up to discussion. If things do not go the way fans, the people who pay you, want it to go.
But I think it's fair. Like I'll kind of double down on what Ernie said. I think it's a fair point to consider. The podcast and all that stuff is great, and if the argument is to sell the program, that's fine and all. But to me, what sells the program is just flat out winning. Does doing certain extracurriculars help you winning? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But in my mind, I'm kind of with Ernie. That stuff is it's tough to kind of swallow after tough losses, because then you just get into all these questions about, okay, well, how much time does that take? Is that a big concern? Could you have used this time to study? And that's kind of the risk of doing that extra stuff that isn't just purely based on football.
I don't know right or wrong for that, because
there's an argument for both.
Well, I don't know what the priority is. Again, I've asked for 5 years. For 5 years, I've asked Husker fans, what is the priority? What is the priority of these athletic programs or the athletic department or the University of Nebraska-Lincoln? Is it the student experience, student athlete experience? Is it the alumni base and what they want the legacy and legends to be? Is it honoring the good things that people think about Nebraska, or actually creating the good things for Nebraskans to be proud of? And if winning is a part of it, it can be money, right? It appears to be money, right? Which tells me that it was always money, and winning just happened to facilitate more money. But ultimately, you have to have a plan for how you're going to get to those things. And yes, money happens when winning is the priority. The opposite way doesn't work. The moment you make money the priority, I'm just telling you, the people don't fall in line. The winning takes a backseat. Character, integrity, all of those things. I was having this conversation with some coaches Wednesday about the 5-star system and the value of it, or lack of value of it, because in real talk, what did the stars mean for you today at Memorial Stadium? Right? Because work ethic wasn't measured, film study wasn't measured, heart wasn't measured, football IQ wasn't, like, we can't, you can talk about all the genetic things, right? Speed, power, etc. But winning isn't even a part of the 5-star system. Winning is not one of the 5 stars. So you have to kind of refocus this thing. And I don't want to have the same old conversations about Nebraska wins and losses, because those are just byproducts of the system itself. So then you tell me what's wrong. And Ernie said, you know what? It's time. Because the number one excuse for not putting in all the work is, I do not have enough time. Well, you have enough time. It used to be that we don't have the money and resources. No, you do have the money and resources.
And
we know that you have the money and resources. Then it is your ability to recruit people to Lincoln, Nebraska. Well, if you can recruit people to Bloomington, Indiana, and to Harrisonburg, Virginia, you should be able to get people to Lincoln, Nebraska, right? And you have record and history that says you can get people to Lincoln, develop them, and win national titles. You did that. And yes, it was 25 years ago, but so what? Right? The things that have changed should actually make it easier, not more difficult. So I'll ask you, Texers, if you could change one thing about either this year's team or the program, if you would change either one thing for this year's team, about this year's team, and it could be a talent, it could be a characteristic, it could be a trait, it could be a scheme, it could be anything. And then if you could change one thing about the program, because the program is the team is the accumulation of the program. All the things that were coached and allowed in the program is what the team becomes. And then unless you're Kurt Signetti and you come and you put a wrecking ball to it, you can't change the program without a wrecking ball. You have to have a wrecking ball. Something has to change. If you want to win more than 6 games or 7 games, something has to change. And then the question is what or who, right? And so I'm going to take, if you want to text in, you want to call in and tell me, I'm cool.
Yeah, texting in works too, especially if you're our friends like Pac-Fan 76. I wish I could call in, but I am way too upset to be on the phone right now. But I appreciate you having the wherewithal.
But Pac-Fan could say this thing, because if you're watching football the way consummate fanatical sports fans watch, he's a Packers fan. So the way he watches, what he would say about the Packers before Thanksgiving Day and a win over Detroit, or after, what you would say after that, changes. And the mantra that there's nothing wrong that with Husker football that a win won't cure until you don't get the win. Until you don't get the win, until you don't consistently get the win. Jeremy says this one thing about this year's team: run more slants and curl routes. For the program, a commitment to great linemen on both sides of the ball. And that makes way too much sense, right? That every week I talk, show me big boy football.
Well, that's supposed to be Nebraska. And I think that's what upsets a lot of people is how have we moved so far away from it where the trenches feel like the area where we're consistently weak. And occasionally we'll get a tie.
Well, but you ran for 200 yards today for the other side of it.
Yeah,
you ran for 200 yards
defensive
today.
side. I mean, the offensive line, I will give them their credit as far as the run game and their ability to get better.
Yeah.
But when you talk about that defensive front being just gashed all year, and that is the really because the black shirts.
So then ask the next question: why were they gashed?
I mean, you can go execution, contain. You had some one-on-one matchups, and you were losing. I mean, Butler had some play calls that were right. The guys were in a situation where it's a one-on-one situation. You gotta figure out a way to make the play, and we just weren't winning those all night. And that's how you give Iowa 40.
It becomes a thing where you in the vacuum that you're in, you get the same comments, and then people will follow that. Back to the VIP line.
Let's bring him in.
Up.
All right,
Okay.
must have heard us and said that's exactly what I wanted
Well,
to say.
I understand. I understand. Pac-Man, he does this. Running backs, you got to have you got to love Nebraska. These guys from California, other places, you really think they care about what that stands for, Nebraska? Here's what I would ask. How can they not care? If it's everything that you're being and everything that you spend your time on, you're in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
I try not to say that it doesn't matter to players. Now, I would also agree that as a coach and as a player, as an athlete, I knew I had teammates that it mattered less to than it mattered to me.
Yep.
And I know that there were players who worked harder than I did and who did not work as hard as I did. So that's the thing. There are absolutely players who care less about the important things.
Well, Jay talks about this all the time. I can't remember the exact numbers he gives it, but it's like an 80%. And then you got the 15, and then you got the 5. There's always that group of guys that, for whatever reason,
it's thirds.
Back to the thirds, right?
Thirds, man. It's thirds. A third of your players are going to give you everything. A third of the players are going to give you everything most of the time. They're not going to give you their best when they're not feeling well or when you're asking them to do something that they're not comfortable at or good at. And then there's the third that, quite frankly, these are the bottom feeders and the folks who will drag your program down. Those are coach killers. They can be most talented. And that's when you get into real trouble, is when your least working players are some of your talented players who just want to get by or have a different distraction. And it's a thing. But then it's up to the coach to be able to decipher who that is. And you want to get more of that first third. Like that's the job of the coach. The coach is to identify that third that's going to be your foundation. And then to find more of the third in the middle and then get them to the original third.
Well, and that's where, it kills me to say it, but you tip your cap to Iowa. I was watching Iowa. You got a guy from Omaha, another guy from Omaha. Got some guys from Nebraska. They weren't highly touted, but what does Iowa do? Identify a workhorse. And they're saying, I know you might not be whatever star right now, but I see the characteristics to you and development. Probably another thing a lot of Huskers fans say is we've just kind of lost our knack from developing talent. But Iowa does a good job identifying dudes that are willing to work and playing an offense that's gritty.
Beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. All those mantras, as lame and as fatiguing as they are,
there's a reason people say them.
There's some simplicity to the fact that you. And then here's the other part, Harrison. You have to hire people who can work at your level, at the coach's level of success. And remember, the coach's level of success, it's not the same in any program in the Big Ten. Do you honestly think that Nebraska is getting everything from its coaches that Indiana is?
No, but that's where, and I'm not calling for Matt Rule or anything to get fired, but if you're Matt Rule's in a CEO kind of style coach right now. He's got the defense covered by Butler. He's got the offense covered by Holgorsen. He's got a great special teams coach, and Mike Eckler. That frees you up a lot. And you would imagine the beauty of having a CEO coach is you can be on top of all of your coaches and walk around the room and make sure everyone's on the same level. And it just hasn't felt like that this season.
I'm only going to speak to this because it gives me point of reference. My time in Utah with Urban Meyer. What Urban Meyer did, there are two things that he did better than anybody else that was coaching at the time, and how he took a middling Utah program and put together an undefeated season and then a head stomp of Alabama and then to Florida and then Ohio State. Was one, he held his coaches accountable every day. Every day, those coaches had to kick some other group's tail. Every day. If you're the receivers coach, your group had to beat up on defensive backs, and it had to be loud and on purpose.
Well, Saban was the same way.
Right?
And hence Kurt Cignetti, hence Kirby Smart.
You learn how to get it done. What he also did was hold players responsible. And he said, quite frankly, you're my starting running back, but you're not going to practice as hard as I need for my starting running back to do so. And he benched. This guy named Marty Johnson. He went through some things. And Urban said, listen, I cannot have your poison rub out on these other players.
The rat poison.
Right? I need my best player. I need the people I hand the ball to the most to have put in the most amount of work. And he went with he was the one that figured out that Alex Smith would do more of what he needed Alex Smith to do than Brett Elliott. Brett Elliott ended up getting drafted. He was the guy that was ahead of Alex Smith. If he doesn't get hurt, we never know who the number one pick in the NFL is 2 years later. We would have never known Alex Smith because he was sitting on the sideline with a clipboard and his hat on, right? But he worked, and he was prepared. And when the moment came, he was ready. And he says, listen, coach, I'm ready. I got this. And he was an All-American and the number one draft pick. So coaches have to identify those things and know those things, and it's there. Texas says this. Okay. Says we need an entire staff of Coach Eckler's. The buy-in and passion would be through the roof. Be careful. Be careful. Because some would say that Eckler's, he's been on the bad end of things the last 2 weeks. Did Nebraska have the best special teams the last 2 weeks? Do they average 28 yards a punt return?
No.
Do they average 29 a kick return? Be careful, right? Sometimes the glam and glitz will make you think, okay, shiny and new. But the reality is, if you're setting the standard, if you're not the best in the Big Ten, if you aren't hiring a coach who at his group you think is the best in the Big Ten and can beat everybody in the Big Ten, that's at the minimum that at least your coaches can be the best in the Big Ten, right? And I like Coach Eckler, but I was behind the bench listening to Coach Eckler with 7 my bads last week, right? And 2 off the box today, right? Because some teams go, I can never allow somebody to get a 30-yard punt return on me, right? You got to break and then things, okay. But if that's the standard, then great. We know what the standard is. And you're not wrong in wanting that from him. Go ahead, Harrison.
Yeah, we got one more caller. I do want to bring him in here before we go ahead and get to our next break. So it's good. Man, see? I'll tell you what, if you guys are calling in, be patient. Hang on.
Well, that is our word. That is our word for Husker football, isn't it? Be patient. Be patient.
All right, we're going to try this one more time.
Yep.
You're on the Husker After Party Show. Here to talk some Husker football. Who are we speaking to?
Hey, this is Isaac in Lincoln. Let me step away from the radio.
Isaac, how you doing, brother?
Doing good. Doing well. Fair. Let's call it fair. So
how about that?
I was looking some stuff up. Iowa in the last 5 years averages 35 as far as what the recruiting class. We're in the upper teens, low 20s. And they're kicking our teeth in. Not only that, in the last 4 years, they've finished ranked 4 out of the last 5 years, 15th and 16th. Us, never. So, and then you go to Minnesota, very, very much the same. So they're doing a lot more with a lot less. I don't know what the solution is. I mean, I'm frustrated. I'm sure a lot of people are frustrated. I listened to the Jay Foreman show, and he kind of calmed me down because he's the voice of reason.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
but I mean, holy moly! I mean, you got, we're not doing a top 10 recruiting class, but we're not even close to the talent projected, and that's developing. I don't know what the answer to that is. I know Matt Rule needs to figure it out. Anyway, if you have any thoughts on those statistics,
yep,
I'll listen in. Thanks, guys. Good show.
Yes, sir. We used to talk about it this way. Joe Gibbs used to lead with this, that there's a certain style of player that he wanted on his team. And he said, well, quite frankly, what I like, if I'm a vegan restaurant, I can't shop at the same place as the steakhouse. I need different skills. I need different utilities. I need different utensils. I need different cost. Like I work from a different thing. I could have the best meat in all of the country, but it's not going to do me of service if that's not what I specialize in.
Yeah, I mean, it's like having Thanksgiving dinner and you got a bunch of seafood cookware.
Right. Like it doesn't.
Yeah, great. You got a bunch of 5-star ingredients, but what you have is not going to fit, no matter how great those ingredients are.
That is a
we'll put that on camera.
That is a spectacular outfit.
Oh, now I want to take them off camera.
No.
Through the
No. Look, they're fully entitled. There's our hero.
Yeah, there's the guy.
That dude is a hero. That dude is a hero. That is a spectacular.
That made me feel better.
Yeah, right.
There's still some passion despite 2 brutal weeks of Husker football.
Well, here's the thing. You have to know. Somebody said this about Penn State. That Nebraska has farm boys and they should be able to grow and develop big boys. Well, that means you haven't been to state college and you don't understand they got farms too. Close to state college, right? They got big boys and they're big boys like punching people too.
Yeah, well,
right?
how many of our guys are from Nebraska? Like we certainly get in there, but like you go look at that Millard South team who just won a state champion. Not a single one going to the University of Nebraska. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe it's not a problem, but another thing to consider at the very least.
Well,
you got one of the best teams coming out of Nebraska. Not a single one's going to us.
You should have access to it's the farmer's market. If I'm going to Iowa to get corn, that's a whole different problem. That is a whole nother series of problems, right? That if we've got a farmer's market in the Haymarket and I drive to Iowa to get corn, right? That means several things are in play.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with the corn?
Unless you got your corn at Nebraska first, you got all the good corn, and you need a little bit more. So then you go. Because Iowa, I think they'll get their guys, but then they will come into our territory.
Who are you?
And take our people.
Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the identity of Nebraska football is. Tell me. We know what Iowa football is. We know what Penn State football is. We know what Ohio State football is. We know what Michigan football is. Cheating or not cheating, we still understand. What in the world is Nebraska football? Texters, please help me identify what Nebraska, one, what we think it is, and 2, what we would like for it to be.
You can't even say it's like the sleeping giant anymore. It's like the giant in paralysis. And maybe that's too harsh because you look back and considering where this program was, even though 7's not great, considering all things that were possible, it is better. And that
but
is the true
wouldn't you want to know who you are?
Oh, I would love to know, DP.
Like
I still don't have
I
a clue
can't,
on the
listen,
identity.
it says right here, before I got Lincoln's Real Sports Talk,
Mhm.
right? So at all times, I need to honor that. That's who I need to recruit. People who want to and are capable of putting on the best real sports talk on a day-to-day basis every day. And then I need to go because that helps me figure out what I need. I don't know what Nebraska football needs. I don't know who they want to be. Do they want to throw for 250 a game? Do you want to throw for 300 a game? Do you want to win games at all costs? Do you want to, if you tell me you want to be the most physical, well, then you got to knock some helmets off, right? And if you're not doing it, or you got to move some people, right? So then if you're recruiting, what are you recruiting for? Recruiting is just dating for marriage. Like if you go to the club and you take the first girl that shows you some attention, Are you picking for wifey or are you picking for convenience? Or are you picking for one, whoever gives me the most attention, whoever's willing to say yes, the University of Nebraska? And if you from that neighborhood and none of the girls from your neighborhood want to date you, right? They go to the next town over. They go to the next state to date, looking for a forever, and they won't. Oh, you got a problem. You have a problem, right? Either it's branding, delivery, development, whatever it is. I don't know to try to describe to somebody else what Nebraska football is. Nebraska volleyball, we know what it is. And you know what they're really good at? At identifying who they are and telling you who they are and showing you who they are. We know who Nebraska basketball is.
Mm-hmm. One man and woman.
We know what to expect when we go to PBA. We know.
Koi ball's got a brand.
It's got a brand. So it becomes easier over time to recruit to the brand. It doesn't become more difficult. We know what Nebraska wrestling is.
Yeah.
We know. If there's a listener that can tell me what the identity and culture of Nebraska football currently is, it will help all of us wrap our brain around what it needs to look like. All right? Towards the break, Harrison.
All right, don't go anywhere. This is the Husker After Party Show. Harrison Arns, DP. Guys, keep texting in. 402-464-5685. You can also call in right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
3 days of deals you don't want to miss. It's Baumgar's 3-day deals. This Friday through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like Noble Outfitters, Ariat, and Carhartt, all at amazing prices. Keep your pets happy and your livestock thriving with Baumgar's exclusive feed. And don't forget Cyber Monday, December 1st for even more great deals at Baumgars.com. Baumgar's 3-day deals this Friday through Sunday.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Stonebrook Exterior is your trusted partner in exterior solutions for both residential and commercial projects across Lincoln and Omaha. With over 2 decades of expertise, they deliver everything your building needs, all under one roof. From roofing and siding to gutters, wall systems, custom masonry, and metalwork, Stonebrook handles it all with precision, safety, and professionalism. Take the worry out of your exterior projects. Choose Stonebrook Exterior, where quality, safety, and service come together seamlessly. Visit StonebrookExterior.com or call 402-438-5559 to get your free quote today.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans know when you work together, great things happen. At Cornhusker Bank, they're more than your financial partner. With 5 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Omaha, they're your neighbors, your teammates, and your biggest fans. Whether you're saving for your first home, planning your future, or growing your business, they're right here in Nebraska to help you move forward together. Visit cornhusker.bank to learn more. Cornhusker Bank, member FDIC. Doing life together.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173. Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details, you take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Hey guys, it's Adam Carricker here. As a former Husker and NFL player, I'm a health nut. Hydration and recovery starts at home. That's why I teamed up with Culligan of Lincoln. Soft water means better showers, cleaner dishes, and it protects my water heater and appliances. Their high-efficiency softener cuts salt and water usage. For drinking, I added a Culligan reverse osmosis. Bottled quality water right at my tap. Great taste, and it's certified to reduce tough contaminants like lead and PFAs. Right now, get up to $300 off a whole home system or just $9.95 per month for your first 3 months. Schedule your free water test at CulliganHuskers.com. That's CulliganHuskers.com. Culligan of Lincoln, water you love. Go Big Red.
Limited time offer, participating dealers, restrictions may apply.
Welcome back to the Husker After Party Postgame Show. The Husker After Party Postgame Show is brought to you by Anderson Ford, Baumgars, and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Iowa 40, Nebraska 16.
You don't have to say the score.
Oh, no, we need to say score.
Yeah, you do.
We need to say score.
Well, before we get back into therapy, we'll shout out our sponsor, Vinny Krikak, State Farm. Protect yourself from the unexpected. Contact Vinny and his team for a personal price plan to take the guessing out of insurance. Call today at 402-474-1173. Again, you guys are always welcome to join in. Appreciate you guys texting in. You guys can call in as well.
Get your text in because I asked the question, what is the identity? The culture is how you get to your identity, how you maintain your identity, how you develop your identity and create your identity. But the identity itself has to be measured and be measurable. Like to understand what, because there are programs who are competing for college football playoffs. And there are some blue blood programs that said 8 wins, 9 wins is not enough. Right?
Yep.
Said, nope, we're not doing average. We're not doing pretty good. If we're not doing great and elite, we're not doing it. That's not Nebraska's identity. That's not their identity. We'd like for it to be their identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Texas says this: it's simple to describe Nebraska football. Nebraska football is one man reliant. What Nebraska fan expect is smash football. So arrogant that we tell you the plan, we're running, and then we demand for their defense to try and stop us.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Huskers in their glory days. Was like, you know what we're going to do? Doesn't matter. You can't stop us. This is who we are.
Here comes
Here comes Almon Green, running through your school.
Here comes LP. here comes Mike Rozier. Here comes, and those are elite players.
But they were able to get those elite players to come to Nebraska because those players knew what they were signing up for,
and they stayed.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed
because you can see what it is, and it doesn't change. You know
I'm
how to operate within that system.
He waited for his time, right? Because he played behind a dude.
They all played behind Duke in that era. It was a waiting turn. It was a little bit, that was kind of when Nebraska was running back. You knew what it was, but there was a clear system to where if you had to wait, you could wait because you knew if you stayed true to it, you're gonna get your limelight, and this team is able to provide for you.
Dogman says this, and I'll paraphrase. He says, "We need bulldozers, not Camaros. If they try to change us into a finesse team, but we just turned into something else." Well, the game has evolved because even Ohio State has evolved. Oregon has evolved. As a matter of fact, it's downtrodden a little, recognizing what it needs to become.
But there's also a risk in evolving too fast, too quick.
Well, no. Indiana said, "This is who we gonna be." Period.
Yeah, well, Indiana, going back to the wrecking ball, though, I mean, that was a tiny little, that foundation was weak. Cignetti smashed that and built it up, and that's why it's great. But Wisconsin, they completely got away from it, and terrible season. And now they're kind of getting back into that old, mean Wisconsin football, and they're having success down the stretch here.
Yeah, here's my thing. In identifying what everybody else in the Big Ten Conference is doing, we could remove the Big Ten Conference and simply have these discussions about the ACC or the Big 12, right? Because BYU is resetting the tone for how this game is going to be played. Cincinnati, we looked them dead square in the face. For the Big Ten, it becomes a matter of what can you do that honors you to do that thing the best, the most often. What simple thing can you do in full repeat all the time at the best level? Because if you're not doing the thing you're best at, doesn't matter.
What was Nebraska's best play this year?
It was Emmett
running somewhere.
Emmett zone read.
Yeah.
Right? Outside or inside, whatever way you want to take it. But I also think that he was running with more freedom with TJ because TJ holds a defender and a half because when healthy, he will pull the ball and make a play. But he was down half a defender because Dylan would throw that thing behind him, right? So there was some purpose behind it. I asked the identity because if you say there is an identity, think Green Bay Packers quarterback. That's the identity of the Packers, right? The Ravens, defense. Defense. And then, by the way, now we've got a sledgehammer and we've got a Swiss Army knife at quarterback. Okay. Buffalo Bills, you know what? We're going to put you in tough situations. We've got a quarterback who can bust you up. The Patriots, we're just going to be disciplined. We're just going to do our job. We're just going to do our job so much better than whatever you're doing, that whatever you're doing will have less impact on the game than we do. Ohio State, we're going to come at your numbers and we're going to be extremely well coached. We're going to be disciplined. And if you can't cheat and find out what we're doing on film, we're going to kick your head in. Michigan said, listen, we cheat better than anybody.
And they did.
Right. No, they said, hey, listen, we did it the right way and couldn't beat you. So we said, you know what we got to do? We got to get some more intel. We got to be smarter. Okay. They went and did the thing. Oregon is sitting and trying to figure it out. Indiana said, nope, we ain't going to worry about what you're doing. We're going to do what we do. I'm going to go get me a dude that will make the throws I need to make and will run this offense and get people in and out of the huddle just like I want them to. And that dude has become a Heisman. You didn't know who he was 3 years ago. Right? So the identity matters. But I think for Nebraska, a big part of the frustration for Husker fans is not knowing the identity. And then I think a big part of the production is, or lack of production is, you don't know your identity. Harrison?
Well said. With that being said, let's get another call in here before we throw it to break. All right. Just like that. We might have cool.
It happens, bro. It happens.
If you're calling, if you're just pulling up to the driveway and you got 30 seconds, probably just, don't call them. But if you got time for it, we do love getting your guys' thoughts.
Yeah. Kevin in Southwest Lincoln says this. This says this team is soft as putty. even worse than 2024. Iowa wins every year because they have an established system and their players are tough as nails. That second part of it, I cannot disagree with. I don't think Nebraska's soft. I just don't know that they know who they are.
Well, and
a part of
to
Iowa's toughness is they know what Coach Ferentz wants.
Well, that's part of the evolution. Like, evolution's great if you're evolving with the game of football, but you have to answer the question, what are we trying to evolve into? And I don't know if we ever asked that before we decided to start ripping all the way back, in the early 2000s. I think we ripped all the floorboards off, and it's like, did we think about what we want to build here, or are we just kind of hoping? And we think we have an idea on what we want to build, but we don't really know how to go about it.
I get to stand on the sideline before games, and I try not to watch Nebraska before games because I've seen them quite a bit. I watch the opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted Jay Foreman. I texted Barry Thompson. I texted Brian Mitchell. I texted some people from the sideline today to go, okay, I watched 12 Iowa receivers and 4 quarterbacks, and I watched them work the route tree. And let me tell you, I watched all of them get the same depth at the same pace and get the ball at the same point, catch the ball the same way, get their head around at the same plant foot, and then to plant, get north, get vertical, change level and location with the ball on the outside. I watched them do this, and it didn't matter what number. It could be receiver number 4 or receiver number 11.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't matter. It could be quarterback number 1 or quarterback number 4. What they did is they all did it the same way, which means it was coached, preached, and repped. And I said to them, man, this team, as much as you want to say they're not the most talented team, they're not the most explosive team, they are well coached. They are on purpose. And I told you, I was like, Jay, bro, they're so well coached. Because the receiver coach in me, I'm looking for something. Except I'm watching that their depth at 6, that the breakdown at 6.5 yards to get to the top of the route at 7, be strict about getting at 7. Don't bend it to 8.5. Don't cut it short at 4.5. Get to 7. At 6.5, I need for you, sink the hips and get your head on the swivel. Because if quarterback needs to adjust, you need to know quickly. And you don't see that.
How many miscommunicate? And again, I get it. TJ Lateef, young quarterback. But we saw a lot of miscommunications today on throws. We're clearly just weren't on the same page. Who's at fault? I don't know. I don't know who was supposed to be doing what where. I mean, that's just signs of a team that's not all on the same page.
Well, there's some youth
for sure
at play. But I also think that, okay, here's my curse.
But if you don't trust that you've coached it, is this really your bet? Like, you got that guy named Gramstead, and this is nothing against Lateef. Like, he is young. Maybe he doesn't if that full chemistry isn't there yet. Why'd you bring in Gramstead?
Well, I mean,
if he's not the best, I'm
not mad at that, but Coach Rule said in the postgame that they thought about going to Gramstead because Lateef was hurt.
Well, yeah, with the hammy.
He was hurt, and it was pretty substantial. Like on the call, they showed him on the sideline. It was pretty substantial. But here's the thing about this thing is that they need to know what they have or what they don't have with TJ Lateef.
For sure.
Because you got an issue. Like, you got to figure this out. You got 3 quarterbacks next year.
Mm-hmm.
Unless one of them decides to leave, or 2 of them. You better know what you have. You better know what you're losing or what you can't lose. You got to know. And I was a great test. It's a great barometer for who you are and what you're going to do.
Do you need the game to figure that stuff out all the time? Genuine question.
Absolutely do. Because listen, everybody's, at practice, you can be a practice superstar and can't bust a grape. Can't bust a grape. Pressure bust pipes, right? And you don't really know what you have until you see it under pressure. So I'm okay with them sticking with what they were going through. I still have questions about what the identity of that offense is under TJ Lateef. If you spent all of that time preparing to use his legs, and then when his legs are taken away, you have shortchanged him and your offense, right? If you didn't work on the passing game, quick read, getting the ball out of his hands, identifying throwing windows because you're a little bit of a smaller guy, Can you get the ball right? Because the first ball out of his hand got knocked down, right? Because you didn't get to a clean window. Why? Because you were so worried about getting your head and your eyes on that receiver that you didn't pay attention. And a big 6'2" defensive end got his paw up there and knocked that thing down. So you have to know who you are. In order to do that, you have to know who you aren't and move it forward. And I think all of that is in play. If Husker fans, and you're right, Texas says this. He goes, I cleared up for you. Nebraska's soft. Every single person knows it. Is Elijah Pritchett soft?
I'm not going to call these players
Sean Singleton soft.
No.
Emmett Johnson soft.
No.
Right? Is Luke Lindemeyer soft?
No.
Is Rocco soft?
No.
There's some hammers in here.
No.
Do you have enough hammers? Might be a fair question.
Well,
your
all the guys
receivers
know exactly what the role is.
Well, but your receivers, you can't call them soft if they're out there putting their face mask on people for the running game, right? That's an identifier. Fair?
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't know. Soft is a thing. I won't argue pro or con. I'll just simply say there are some folks who that does not qualify for, at least in my mind.
Fair enough.
So,
With that being said,
yep.
We do got to go ahead and throw to another break. Don't go anywhere. We still got, at the very least, a couple more segments of this, and until you guys all get tired or the therapy session wraps up. But this is not the A1. I want to keep going to the pregame. This is the Husker After Party Show again. Husker falls to Iowa. They go to 7-5. Don't go anywhere. We'll keep talking Husker football right here. 93.7 The Ticket.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
3 days of deals you don't want to miss. It's Baumgar's 3-day deals. This Friday through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like Noble Outfitters, Ariat, and Carhartt, all at amazing prices. Keep your pets happy and your livestock thriving with Baumgar's exclusive feed. And don't forget Cyber Monday, December 1st for even more great deals at Baumgars.com. Baumgar's 3-day deals this Friday through Sunday.
Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
There's never a good time for an appliance to break. You're thinking, how much is this going to cost? How do I get it here? What am I going to do? but it's always a good time to save at Schaefer's Clearance Outlet. Save hundreds on factory warranted appliances and get Schaefer's garage drop-off delivery free. That's right, big savings, full factory warranties, and free drop-off delivery. When something breaks and you want to save some money, help yourself out and check out Schaefer's Clearance Outlet. Open Wednesdays 4 to 7 and Saturdays 9 to noon at 48th and R in Lincoln.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173. Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at CoppellCars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, that's 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to BeBigNow.org.
Welcome back to the Husker After Party Postgame Show. The Husker After Party Postgame Show is brought to you by Anderson Ford, Baumgars, and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It'll be a short set, and then we will we'll get all of your texts. If you want to call, just think 5:05-ish, right? Get your phone, get your 30 seconds worth of clean content ready. Like, make notes to yourself. We'll give you 30 seconds to come in, state your case, not curse, not ruin it for the next person. Right? So we're going to start taking calls right at 5:05. We'll read your texts if you want. We can read those, get those in. We got these 3 that I want to get to before we go to break. 1000 says, DP, it's about the money now. For some, there are those that love this game, and they love the people in the game, and they love the work behind the game, and they love the people. There are people who are getting money who, quite frankly, deserve money because they put in the work. There are people who are just about money, and it shows up. It shows up in the play.
Yeah, everyone who was missing their ESPN off of YouTube TV knows all too well about money getting in the way.
and some of that is the same for coaches.
Yeah,
and some of the same is for the executives in play.
Well, you said at the beginning, as soon as money becomes the thing, and I'm not saying that's the case for the University of Nebraska, or maybe you think it is the case for those listening, but you're just going to run into a litany of problems.
But let me say this, because just based on that, I left the stadium at the end of the third quarter, and it was a mass exodus.
I was driving in at the end of the third.
Thousands of Husker fans leaving the stadium, and they were not happy. And the walk back, there was just so much that they were just venting and getting in and all in. They were talking about the people in charge. They're talking about the players, talking about the coaches, talking about the identity and those things. That's where that conversation came from. I literally just stood in the middle of the folks and let them vent, and they came to it. So there was a lot of things there, but it can't be for senior night against your rival. You can't have the stadium emptying out at the end of the third quarter, and you can't have people dissatisfied when they leave. Like, it's just a big thing, and it has to be dealt with. Texas says this, 1856 says this season moving forward, I would definitely change the base defense to the 4-3. In the Big Ten, you just need more big fellows up front to control the line of scrimmage.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think
hear that a lot.
If you're going to do that, but here's the thing: you have to have the big guys to do that.
Mm-hmm. And have we recruited that way in these next few
classes?
Right,
and I don't think you have.
I doubt it.
I don't think you have.
If you have it through 3-5,
if you were
probably
going to project that
recruiting
at 2027, and then recognize that 2026 you're going to take a beat down because you're swapping out, unless you just hit 4 home runs in the transfer portal, and that's going to require a lot of money and hitting 4 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. If you're going to change scheme like that, that's going to be a part of it. Jeremy says this: too many offensive linemen looking at EJ getting tackled and not engaging anyone. Listen, all that to be said, right? All of that. Film don't lie. Film don't lie. I'll do a film study tomorrow. I'll put the replay on 25% speed, and you get to see all the gory details.
There's some plays that'll stick out.
Yeah, there's some. So we'll toward the break, Harrison, then come back 5 o'clock hour. Folks, you can call and text.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
No Shave November is raising awareness of men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Above and Beyond Roofing and Construction would like to remind listeners that another holiday season is right around the corner, but for many it may turn out to be a less than joyous one. Open your hearts to the less fortunate by dropping off a toy at one of the Toys for Joy drop-off points around town. Above and Beyond Roofing and Construction, serving our area with pride and integrity. For all your roofing and construction needs and more, call the pros at 402-937-5537. That's 402-937-5537. Above and Beyond Roofing and Construction, on the air because they care.
If you love a good deal, you'll love Schaefer's Clearance Outlet at 48th and R. And if you don't mind a ding or dent, you can save hundreds of dollars on hundreds of products. Refrigerators, ranges, dishwashers, laundry, even mattresses. All scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, or home returns, and all priced to move. You still get Schaefer's long tradition of service and expertise, just at low clearance prices. Come see for yourself at Schaefer's Clearance Outlet, Wednesdays 4 to 7 and Saturdays 9 to noon, 48th and R in Lincoln.
With all the Raising Cane's chicken finger options, it was an impossible decision.
How about a box combo? Good.
No. I want a Caniac combo with extra cane sauce, no slaw, 2 extra toast, and a half sweet tea, half lemonade. Celebrate the holidays with Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Nebraska farmers, harvest is here and every gallon counts. That's why Sapp Brothers Petroleum launched the Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. When you contract your fuel with Sapp Brothers, enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. As Husker Country knows, the only thing stronger than the roar at Memorial Stadium is the drive of a farmer putting food on the table. Fuel your farm with Sapp Brothers Petroleum and enter to win $1,000 in fuel credits. Visit sapbros.net today. Sapp Brothers Petroleum, fueling the heartland. Go Big Red.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric.
I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
The savings continue all November long at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln. They're extending their red tag sale with machines priced at invoice plus $300. That's it. No freight, no setup, no extra fees. Plus 10% off snowplow kits, 10% off fly motocross gear, and 50% off all in-stock road tires. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location. They can't wait to get you set up for the holiday season.
Welcome back to the Husker After Party Postgame Show. The Husker After Party Postgame Show is brought to you by Anderson Ford, Baumgars, and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All is not dark in Lincoln. Harrison Orange gets a win.
Let's go. I'm giddy. I'm giddy with joy that my Chicago Bears are back.
An NFL win on a Friday
against
on
the defending
road
champs,
against the reigning defending Super Bowl champion.
And that's a good enough win for everybody out there.
A 2-score win.
Yeah, two-score
win.
I just want everyone. I told DP off air for everyone saying the Bears haven't played anybody. Blah blah blah.
Can't say
Is that good enough yet?
Can't say it.
I swear, if they win the Super Bowl, everyone's gonna be like, easiest Super Bowl run ever. Wow.
There's no such thing.
Someone will say it though.
There's no such thing. Georgia, number 4 Georgia and number 23 Georgia Tech. They're 13-6 in the third, so they're going back and forth. There should be some good ones. Texas A&M plays tonight. That should be a pretty good one. Utah knocking off Kansas earlier in the day. My VCU Rams knocking off the Virginia Tech, which bravo. Well done, boys. Well done, boys.
At least we're getting some ones here, DP.
Well, we had to accept some victories because they weren't necessarily going around today. I was one word to describe today's 40-16 ball game. Give me one word, Harrison.
Agonizing.
Right?
Yeah, frustrating, agonizing. I think those two are the ones that come up because again, it's like I don't see a bunch of guys that don't care. I see a team that cannot figure out what it wants to be, and you know, in an extreme sense, like you know, it's like as a parent, like you got a good kid, but you just see your kid trying really hard, but there's no real direction for him, and you're just kind of worried about like I don't know what.
But maybe he's just not good enough.
Yeah. He's a good kid, but he doesn't really seem to have any idea on what he wants to do or be. I'm like, that's the extreme. That's kind of the way I watch Husker football. It's like, you know,
they're just not good enough.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt Rule said we weren't good enough. It's unacceptable. Like, those are his words. That's not us jumping on him or kicking him when he's down. Those are his words.
Mm-hmm.
And I would imagine, that some of the conversation next week will be about, well, if we were speaking honestly in August and said at the end of season, Nebraska's 7-5, how many people are really upset about that? Right? Is that, or would you have been totally surprised? You saw a path to 7-5.
Mm-hmm.
You saw a direct path, and they pretty much followed
the exact path outside of Minnesota.
Right.
And even that Minnesota game people circled because of their history with us.
Well, but I mean, if you said 7-5, that means you got a win and you lost one. You gave away one and you got one. Right? Which is, it's fine. Cincinnati's better than we thought.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You gave some away that you could have got. And this is pretty much who we thought this team, at their best, who we thought this team was going to be.
I think some people would say this year's version would say, maybe not at their worst, but not too far from it. Well, because I think some people were expecting that win, that momentum shifting win, whether it's you beat, Michigan and their interim coach at home, or you have the opportunity versus USC, and then your quarterback goes down. I understand that one a little bit. Or if it's the game versus Iowa, or even if it's Minnesota, like, you know what? Let's go beat Minnesota. They have no business dominating us. They haven't, but I think that was the one game where people would have said success if you bag one of those.
But why would they? They all those losses are teams that we are not surprised that they lost it.
Because if you're believing that this team's going forward, making the right steps, inevitably you will win those games.
Well, they won 6 regular season games last year. They won 7 regular season games this year.
Yep.
They'll have a chance to win an 8th game.
Does last year's team win the same amount of games
they won
or
6
less?
games, and they won a 7th game in the bowl game. That was a 500 team a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
By the metric, this year's team is better than last year's.
By the metric.
Well, 7 wins is better than 6.
100%.
Right? So Matt Rule did improve.
Yeah.
They are better. But are they good enough is the next question. That's always the next question. And you're perfectly allowed to ask the next question. That what is reasonable? What's the expectation? What's the standard? And you have to change the standard, because if you are not happy with it, you got to fix it. Like, oh, you brought home a 6. Hey, bro, that might be who you are. That's who you are until you bring home a 7.
Mm-hmm.
And 7 allows you to even ponder and figure out how you're going to get an 8. Like 9 to 10s, we understand. Oh no, I got to be an apex, man. Got to get on my game. We don't know that about this Nebraska football team. We don't know that about the program, right? But if we said, and Jordan makes a great point. Being 6-2 and end up 7-5 is what hurts. But that's what everybody saw. We saw those last 4 games, right? We saw USC, we saw UCLA, we saw Penn State, we saw Iowa, and most people said they were going to go 1-3. I asked the question then: are they likely in the last 2 weeks to go 2-0, 0-2, or 1-1? And we were split in thirds. There are people who thought they would find a way to win one of those games. There are people who thought they were going to win both of those games. And there are people who thought, just as they did, that they were going to lose both of those games.
Mm-hmm.
You had reason and expectation. So they're all of those teams. They're the team that beat Cincinnati. They're the team that lost to Penn State and Iowa. They're the team that beat Northwestern and Michigan State. They're all of those teams. They're all of those teams. We wanted them to be more UCLA than not. We don't get that yet.
I think you saw Michigan State last week too play Iowa really close, and honestly felt like they should have won that game. And you're like, that's the team we beat. Iowa. It's just the way these last 2 games have gone. It have really put a sour taste in people's mouths at the end of the season.
What did you expect?
A closer game versus Iowa.
Why?
Penn State,
Why?
Regardless of how bad or good Nebraska's been or how good or bad Iowa's been, that game has just been decided by 3 points.
Okay.
Whether Nebraska's been deserving of being in that, but like that's just those rivalry games are always a little bit weird. Same thing with Ohio State in Michigan. If you're Michigan, should you really be thinking about losing to Ohio State? You guys beat them every year, but it's a rivalry game. It's going to be probably pretty close. The way this one went out was just well outside the norm
Emmett
of what
rushed for
usually
200
happens.
yards, and they got beat by 3 scores.
Yeah. You weren't converting on those big plays either.
Emmett rushed for 200
He had 180
yards.
in the first half.
He rushed for 200 yards, 200-plus yards, and you weren't in the game.
We were down 8.5 with 180 yards from one player.
So that's what that is. That's who you are. Like, it took an epic performance just for them to not suck.
Just to score.
Bro. Like, you are who you are. You know, when folks are playing cards, they tell you you get exactly how many books you had in your hand. Can't fake it. Can't fake it. And I think that's a big thing. Corey says, yeah, kind of felt like we totally lost ourselves as a rival. Yeah. It's the thing. You have to be competitive, and you have to feel like, you know what, the rivalry matters enough for you to get it right. That you get it right. And so is Iowa the rival in basketball?
Yeah, I'd say it's Creighton.
Is Iowa the rival in wrestling?
Yeah, I think that's fair. They may tell me otherwise, but I think Iowa, considering where they were, now it's Penn State. I'd say this year it's Penn State because they're not chasing Iowa. They beat Iowa last year.
Right. So you fine, but they hadn't beaten Iowa.
No, so maybe like they're still thinking Iowa, like we hate you guys. We're never going to let you take this back.
They beat Iowa in the Big Tens and nationally, but not head to head.
So it very well could still be Iowa in that world, but I just know for the basketball world, it's well. I mean, Iowa, we don't like them at all either in the basketball scene.
But this is the thing, right? We watched them. It was
thanks for Stanford, by the way.
The biggest win in the program's recent history was the win over Caitlin Clark in Iowa. I'm not sure Iowa feels the same way. I think they would look at UCLA, they would look at Michigan, they would look at some other places. All that's fine. Nebraska has to rebrand and re-identify. It has to right the ship. The ship's not good enough as we currently stand. Like, it's just not.
Yeah, I think it's a nice ship, but by the time November comes around, our ship often seems to be sinking.
Just drifting away.
Yep, and then we get to the last regular season game. I mean, it just says a lot that the last time we beat Iowa was with their interim head coach Mickey Joseph.
At their
that
place.
was the one time we got it right.
At their place.
In the last 10 years.
Which means there's a
last
way.
11 years, I guess.
Which means there's a way. There's a way.
And the interim coach tapped into it.
There's a way. There's a way. And there are those that would say that was pretty important.
Well, even Scott Frost that year when we had Logan Smothers against special teams at the end killed us. But right there.
Wow.
Like our best games versus Iowa have been the most bizarre circumstances.
Jordan from Wilbur
Never
says
forget the
this,
Smothers game.
Hope Coach will stay. He just needs to make adjustments like Coach Osborne did. Give him time.
Seemed like a very patient, nice person.
Give him time. Listen. None of my. I'm. That's for other people. The coach is the coach until he's not the coach.
Yeah, I'm not going to decide.
I'm not chasing jobs. I'm not chasing.
My rule with Husker sports is I will forever hope you get it right.
I hope we get it right
because I don't want to see us get it wrong and then have to go through the carousel of firing and ripping up floorboards, as we just kind of full circle here talked about that. The minute you start ripping up floorboards because you want a new look, it gets risky because that remodel process has a very ugly period.
Pac fan says the word you were looking for is sickening. I asked for one word to describe.
Are we talking about Packers?
No, he's talking about Huskers.
He's going to be feeling that way next week. All right, that's it. I'll show
Oh, look,
my Chicago Bears.
Look at him stirring the pot.
Oh, well, I mean, I know we got Ben in here. He's a big Bears fan as well. That's talking down on the Packers.
I want to apologize to the folks over at YouTube. They've been buck wild over there.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, Hammond text lines also been buck wild.
Bruce says, I think we're probably going to go to Vegas Bowl. I just can't watch the meaningless bowl game. It's not meaningless. It's not meaningless. This is the powerful thing. We're going to get to y'all. We're going to get there. We'll get to y'all.
Before we do that, though, let's get to another caller. You are in on the Husker After Party. Harrison Arns, DP. Who do we got on the line?
You got Jay.
All right, Jay, what's on your mind?
I want to bring up, you guys just mentioned the last time we beat Iowa was Mickey Joseph and
Bill Bush would have been there as well.
Yes, Bill Bush. So this is what I want to talk about. And me and my buddies have had this conversation, and we laugh, but we're also like, well, it's not a bad point. What if this whole coaching thing, we're looking at this in a completely different way of why are we paying these coaches $8 to $10 million when you can have guys that know what works here and they know how football has evolved? Example, Mickey Joseph, Bill Bush. You get a couple coaches like that, and you don't pay them very much because they're happy, and then you make it incentive-based. But you get Mickey Joseph in here, he's going to get LSU's wide receiver coach, and they're going to bring a couple guys. You get Bill Bush in here, he's going to get Penn State's D-line coach, and they're going to bring a couple guys. They understand Nebraska football. They understand what it takes these days. And they also understand what goes around here and what doesn't. Like if you're on the 1 yard line and you're in shotgun, get ready for the crowd to moan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen it all here. We've seen every kind of offense try this and try that. And I think give the money to, pay high money for assistant coaches, pay high money for players, and get a couple guys like Bill Bush or Mickey Joseph, guys that want to be here, and then incentive-based, they make it to the playoffs, pay them $5 million. Keep going up the ladder, but that's all I got to say. So thank you guys for the show.
Thanks, Jay. Harrison, your thoughts?
I mean, there's a lot of truth to what he said. I mean, when you're going for coaches, you got to make sure the coach wants to do it because they want the money, or do they love Nebraska?
There are people that love Nebraska that don't love Nebraska the right way.
Yeah, I mean, there
are people that don't love it the right way.
Well, we've seen it. Like Scott Frost could be the example, right? Like this guy loves Nebraska.
What?
This guy loves it here.
What?
And then
did he?
We thought.
Did he?
And then he went to UCF. And
did he though?
Said some other things about it.
Did he though?
Well,
did he though?
You call that a hoodwink and swindle.
Did he though? Yeah, I
think there's a point to it, but you got to make sure that you got a genuine guy who really wants to do it.
Well, I mean, again, you can use Cignetti as the example because he took less money and then he went there and did what he promised he would do. And then they offered him more money and he was like, okay, you want me to stay?
$11 million worth.
I'll take more money and I'll stay.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's happened. It's happened. And you're not wrong if you're North Texas coach and you decide that, hey, I'm going to be bumped up to $10 million a year when I've been making $1.5 million. That makes all the sense in the world, right? It all makes all the sense in the world. But it also makes sense that you can pull Mickey Joseph, who wanted to simply coach this program, Bill Bush, who wanted to coach this program. We got people here in this building that if I were the executive and I'm running football programs here, why would I not want Bill Bush and all of his resources and experience in the program?
Well, some would say that was a great era of Nebraska's special teams for a little sliver there.
Well, but I mean, if somebody wants to be in the program here, he chooses to be here, right? Mickey loves Lincoln, Nebraska. Jay Foreman loves it. Grant Wistrom, Jason Peter. Character. These are people who
Ricky C. Simmons.
Right, who could be around. I mean, Ricky could tell you all the stuff that you shouldn't do.
I mean, exactly. He can tell you, like,
tell you all the stuff.
Coaches, you coach. Let me talk to these fellas about what they don't want to be doing.
I got this other thing, man. Mm-hmm. I got this other thing, and I'll let you know. And I don't know what I mean, to Jay's point, I think a big part, we had a texter earlier who said NIL ruined college sports. No, the adults.
That's the best way to put it.
The adults ruined college sports because they were so greedy and so self-involved and so self-important that they hid money, kept money, lied about money instead of sharing a little bit of the money so the players would never get out of control. You could have just done the right thing. Pick any decade before this, you could have done all this and avoided what's happening.
Well, the funniest part too is they could have even done it in their way where you probably just give players like $100,000
and they would have said, yeah,
and say that's the cap.
It's a wrap.
And you've already said that even just like 5 years ago.
It's a wrap.
They've been like, well, this person is a generous, great person.
Said 25,000 a player, and it would have been a wrap.
Yeah, and everyone would have been happy.
But here's the thing: you still haven't gotten it right with the player, with the coaches, because coaches are leaving.
Mm-hmm.
The coaches are chasing money. Look at Lane Kiffin. Hey man, you're going to spend $35 million, and you're going to give me more money, and I don't have to live in Mississippi. Right? But I mean, if the grown-ups are making decisions based on those things, then why wouldn't the college teenagers make those decisions based, or the parents, right? And these are coaches who have been in the game for 15, 20 years, who have built a reserve of money already. Lane Kiffin's been a millionaire many times over, and this is his 4th or 5th millionaire contract. He's got enough money, right? But the kid from the outskirts of Alabama, whose mom doesn't have the money, right? And they live in a terrible house, and you don't know if the phone's going to be on or the electricity's going to be on, or that they don't want to eat McDonald's every day, right? Because it's affordable. They want to eat better. It means more to them. So why wouldn't they, as opposed to looking at the grown-up who already has everything? How would you expect them to react and respond? Because they see the people in charge of them responding and reacting that way. That's how it happens. That's how I had a rule as a coach. I cannot ask a player to be a version of himself that I am not being myself. I have to be the example. I have to be loyal to it. I have to outwork. Harrison, you will vouch for this in public. I cannot ask anybody to work hard here and love what they do if they can outwork me and outlove what we do.
Yeah, listen to us from 10 to midnight if you don't believe him.
Right? We here. We don't get paid for that. We here. You know what? Just to hang out with the people of Lincoln. And we love it. We love it. So if you love it and you're willing to work hard at it and you're willing to show up, that part, then the money aspect of it will take care of itself.
100%. That's how it works. That's how it works in everything, though. Literally everything. The money will take care of itself if you do the right thing for the right reasons.
Always. And you know the people that I like being around. As a coach, those are the coaches I like being around, and those are the young people I like being around. Pretty simple. It's not NIL. That's not the problem. That's people being able to pay their bills and live their life. That's what that is. What we're talking about is having character. It's where we started in the postgame. If you do not have character, integrity, if you don't have purpose, if you don't have mission, then it's just about money. And if the people who are making decisions are making money decisions without considering who's the best person, who's the best human, who do we want to be the example? I've said this to athletic directors all the time. If you hire me, ask the question, is this the person you're putting in front of your young people as the example of what they want to be? Because if you're not doing that, then you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat. Look, we're going to win games. We're going to win games because, quite frankly, we connect. We talk to each other. We listen to each other. We care for each other. We're there for each other. We'll win games because we're connected and we're working for each other.
I mean, it's the cheesiest thing in the world, but it rings true. Like those championship teams, they look a lot like a family. And that's not coincidence. Like there's genuine.
People can't even understand why the Oklahoma City Thunder are the NBA champions until you go in their locker room and you realize, you know what? Them dudes like each other.
Mm-hmm.
They respect their coach.
It's the best sign of a team you can have is that they like each other.
You know what? That Shohei Ohtani for all the money, Freddie for all the money, Mookie for all the money, Freddie freaking Freeman for all the money, all those guys. But you know what? They fight for each other. They like each other. They love Ohtani. Right? It would be really easy to not like the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they like the guy. And that's important because when your best player works harder and is the most likable, it's easy to get everybody else in line.
Yeah, those thirds become easier.
Man, it becomes a simple thing. All right, Harrison, let's go to break.
Don't go anywhere. We'll keep it rolling.
It's No Shave November at Limitless Mail. Let the beard grow and lose weight. if extra weight is holding you back from activities, the men's health experts at Limitless Male can help. It's no fun being left out because your weight is holding you back. GLP-1s from Limitless Male will help you drop the weight fast, and you won't be hungry. When you feel good and look good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop into Scissors and Scotch today. I know what you're thinking. Drink during a haircut? Don't worry. First comes the precision cut from one of their experienced barbers, followed by your complimentary cocktail in their upscale lounge. Scissors and Scotch blends your old school barber feel with your favorite watering hole. And now you can earn $10 off by simply mentioning the ticket. And if you're an existing member, still mention the ticket for an exclusive offer. Offer valid at Lincoln location only. Scissors and Scotch, located just south of 30th and Yankee Hill, and online at lincoln.scissorscotch.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Yesterday, your water heater worked just fine. Today, surprise! When you're out of hot water, just call the plumbers at Bryant. In most cases, you can get same-day water heater replacement. What you won't get is a costly surprise with the bill. At Bryant, the price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. No last-minute extras for piping or ventilation alterations. Need a new water heater? Just call Bryant, 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Welcome back to the Husker After Party Postgame Show. The Husker After Party Postgame Show is brought to you by Anderson Ford, Baumgars, and Vinny Krekak of State Farm Insurance on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Corey went hard on the text line.
Oh, let's see what Corey is. This Corey the painter?
Corey
worked with him.
Corey said, I thought Rule looked checked out tonight, even before the game flipped. I don't know.
That's fair. I mean, that's just what he thought, right? He's not saying it.
Yeah, no.
I think it's a fair statement.
As coaches, you want to be fully committed all the time, and it's not that simple. It's just not that simple. You want to win. But you're also, there are times when, I'm trying to remember who, George Allen, the late great George Allen, who coached the Rams and the Redskins and the Chicago Blitz of the there's a clip of him coaching the Redskins where he's looking at his coaches and he goes, "We're just not ready today. Doggone it, we're just not ready. We're just not here." Like he goes, "We're not connected. We're not checked in." He goes, "I can just see it. I can just feel it," and the game plays out that way. And there are days when you know, but he also said he didn't expect today's outcome. Same thing he said at Penn State. I didn't think it was going to end this way. So you could feel like you've done the right work and your players are putting in the right work, and then it just doesn't, but guess what? They're putting in work too. Penn State's putting in work. Iowa's putting in work. And sometimes you realize that. So I have to come to Harrison and say, Harrison, here's what I need. Line up Sunday's lineup as best you can. And I will think you have made the full decision. And you could tell me the thing that, well, yeah, I got you and Hall straight. And then I realize, oh, you didn't plan anything for 1:00. So that scramble is there. And I trusted him and it wasn't like you were less than.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional.
Right.
But we messed up. Somewhere.
Right. It was just you thought everything else was in order. Right? You did the thing I asked you to do. You did it the way I asked you to do it. You just missed something. Well, Matt Rule has to rely on his coordinators to have everything in check, right? Doors locked, logs done, right? All those things. And then all the while, breaking news happens and you're not ready for it because you planned for it to be organized. But breaking news happens and you go, oh no, you were not ready.
Yeah, guess that 2:00, and they said they've been standing in the freezing rain for 30 minutes. Yeah. What are you doing, Harrison?
What are you
blowing
doing?
it,
right? What are you doing? Pat Francis, the Packers are going to beat down the Bears.
Yeah, just keep yapping. Keep yapping.
Challenge
accepted.
Yep, there it is. Bubba says this. The crowd will only moan if we're at the 1 yard line and shotgun and it doesn't work. But if it works, everybody's going to hip hip hooray and cheer. And this mindset, we got to go back to the Nebraska way. That's not a thing anymore. Get out of the 90s for Christ's sake.
I'll just hip hip hooray if we score in the red zone. Period. I get the, if you're in shotgun in a short goal line situation, why that drives people nuts. We haven't been doing it well this year.
Why do people hate when you give an example of when things were good or when things worked? When people go back to the 90s, it's because it worked.
Same people, everyone says LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan.
Fair statement.
I mean, the new is always better.
But this is not better. This is not better.
Mm-hmm.
This is not better than Mike Rozier. This is not better than Lawrence Phillips. This is not better than Amon Green. This is not better than Jay Foreman. It's not. So you have to go back to what worked. In order to know what doesn't work, you have to know what works. Right? This doesn't work. 7-5? Did Coach Osborne ever have a 7-5 season? I don't think. What was his worst season?
Who?
Coach Osborne.
Coach Osborne? You have to go back to the beginning. It was a little bit of a slow start, but
I'll
double
worst
check.
season? Yeah. Pull up his
early on.
Pull up his head coaching record. I would like to know that. Because I find it hard to believe.
People wanted to fire him for a little bit there. I couldn't tell you how bad it
Yeah, but they wanted to fire him when he won 9 games.
What do you think the worst he's ever done?
9.
9
wins is the worst. And there were people that
this
said,
isn't good enough.
Right. And I'm pretty sure they yelled at him and told him, don't go back to the Devaney years. We don't want to hear about this Johnny the Jet Rogers. Right. We don't want to hear about Jerry Taggy.
This is new era
we don't
football,
want to hear about Rich
Osborne.
Glover. Yeah. Don't give me the Mike Rozier, that torn jersey nonsense. Right. But it worked. And it's a standard. We are a society and a breed of human beings that need a standard. We need a North Star. We need to know what the best version is. At least have an idea of what the optics are. Right? I mean, geez. Captain Obvious says this, in my opinion, small defenses of Coach Rule, what he did in 3 years at the other programs were in conferences that are not as good. It wasn't fair to expect us to have him do that in year 3 in the Big Ten. Now, couple of points about that. Baylor played in a conference. He did a thing. Now,
with every litigation on the book against him,
a whole lot in play. But we didn't have to accept that whole thing. We're able to look at it and decipher, well, he got it together in year 3, but it wasn't Nebraska. It wasn't the Big Ten. We could have put both things could be true.
Mm-hmm. He's
got a history of developing in year 3, of elevating, but not in the Big Ten. Both are true. History of doing it at places that did not have the resources Nebraska did, but not having done it at Nebraska with all the resources and all the coverage. Because he was never covered at Baylor and Temple the way he was covered here at Nebraska. There's more people in the media room at Nebraska on a Tuesday than are at Temple on a game day.
Yep, 100%. And that is the truest thing. What did they call us at Big Ten Media Days? I thought they had a nickname for the Nebraska media.
It was.
I'm sure it's nice.
Right? So I think we have to be present and specific that if Coach Rule says, give me year 3, or if the athletic director says, give me year 3, but instead it was the fans who kept saying, be patient, wait till year 3. But remember, we had just heard, give Scott Frost patience.
Mm-hmm.
No, the one thing we shouldn't have gave Scott Frost was patience.
Yeah, 100%. Like hindsight 2020.
Right?
If you knew beforehand, good on you.
Do you learn from the recent mistake or no? Are you burned by the recent experience? Like a thing that you know to be true?
I think right now I think it's fair to say we're nowhere near the level of the Frost era,
Yeah.
where that disappointment's reached I am nowhere near I can make a conclusion the same way I could about Frost.
If Frost had won 6 games and 7 games in back-to-back year, he'd still be the head coach.
He would be, but because of everything else, he didn't.
No, because he never did that.
Yeah.
He could have got away with everything else if he had won 6 and 7 games.
But because he, we're saying without saying, because of all the extracurriculars, that team was never going to sniff 6. It was going to sniff 5.
We knew that. We knew that. But they wouldn't listen. Because they would say the same people who are saying be patient now were the same people who were saying be patient then.
Well, I will say, there were some people that knew and said be patient, which is crazy.
Give him time.
Yeah.
Come on, people. We can't keep starting over.
Yeah.
Are we gonna if you fire him or if he leaves, you're gonna get a better coach? Who's the better option? Like those, it's all the same narrative stirring, but it's just you stirring up old expired stew. The reality is each situation is different, and you have to look at them differently. You have to.
DP, this is a tough question. Bruce on YouTube wants to know: can I ask you guys if Matt Rule deserved a contract extension?
He got it, so he deserved it. Somebody thought he deserved whoever. Okay, I was having this discussion with somebody on social media because I was talking about the excess celebrations.
Oh yeah, yep,
right, and they
Drive
said
me crazy.
and they called them prima donnas, and I said overpaid prima donnas, and I said who, the players or the people who determine the market value and the people who allow it? Who are you talking about? Because that's the real issue. Because players are a byproduct of the things allowed by the people who, and no player writes his own check.
That is a point of fact.
Some business person has to say that's the market value. Because if I love Harrison, but if Harrison came in and said, I need $200,000 a year, it would be his last day.
Yeah.
Right. He knows.
Got to write that.
Right.
Christmas was coming around.
Right.
I was thinking about
he knows because that's not what the market is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then it's up to me to reset that. Somebody came to Matt Rule and said, you deserve more. And it's somebody who could make it happen. Somebody who could actually make it happen. Somebody who looked at Matt Rule and said, so in the market, he's getting fair market value based on the people who determine what fair market. Coaches don't determine fair market.
Yeah, I mean, do college football coaches making that much money to deserve more than your nurse?
No,
it just leads into the market value.
They deserve what the market allows them to make. And if the market is wrong, that's not the coach's fault. No coach is ever wrong for accepting more money than the best school teacher or the highest paid doctor.
Exactly.
No, because
you're 100%. It's the market.
Because somebody else decided to do that. Listen, you and I have had this discussion. There's some talented radio hosts. But the moment you ask me for more money than the market says, and I'm the market, I am the market. The moment you deserve more than what I like, my signature goes on this check.
Well, especially if I got nothing to say why it should be more because I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. If I just come with the same old Jane and being like, hey, I haven't changed anything, give me more.
Give me more money. So Matt Rule gets exactly what the market determines every single time. There's something about Matt Rule, whether it's Temple, Baylor, Carolina Panthers, Nebraska Cornhuskers. The market, those people that set the market, constantly tell him, you know what, you deserve more money. For what you're doing, you deserve more money. And that's it. That's it. The same thing with baseball. Same thing with quarterbacks. Right? Quarterbacks don't set the market. NIL. You think the student athletes set the market? That's why NIL ain't the problem. The adults who co-sign this nonsense, those are the problems. You know what?
If you're upset that players are getting...
If my daughter called me today and said, Dad, I need more money from you, whose fault is it if she gets it?
Clearly, it's you.
100%.
Well, and that's what's happened with NIL, and it sucks that players get blamed for it. But what happens is that, let's just say the numbers, $1,000. Next school says, hey, whoa, that's nothing. We'll give you 10,000. We'll give you 100,000. We'll give you $500,000. We'll give you $1 million. The adults just kept cranking up that number.
Go live with your mama then.
Yeah.
Go live with your mama then.
Yeah.
Hey, if your girlfriend says, you know what, I need a $50,000 ring. You need to go date a dude who think that's the market value. Because guess what? I was going to go to the bubblegum machine.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be happy I did it.
I was going to get you a fake diamond. You weren't going to know the difference.
Zirconia, hey, shine bright like a diamond. That's what people miss the nature of the song. Shine bright like a diamond, not as a diamond.
It's got to be like one.
Chill out. The problem is the adult in the room. All of this, as a coach and as a player, you have to identify, whether it be as an administration, athletic director, regent, board of directors, whatever it is. They're the market setters. And if you don't get it right, then chaos happens beneath, because you get it wrong for one, you're now opening the door for the next. And I hate to tell you, Scott Frost set the market for Matt Rule.
He did.
And the people in line allowed it instead of getting it right. Because as our guy said earlier, they could have very simply, we'll get you up there, bro. Hold on.
Yeah, he's up there. It just takes some time.
We'll get him.
I really hope.
Hold on. We'll get him up there, bro.
Yeah, it's about 10-second delay there.
There we go, bro. Get your move on, baby. Get your dance on. There you go. Perfect moonwalk.
I'd give it to him if it wasn't for the Green Bay Packers hat.
Bravo. We appreciate the entertainment. See, that's the point. When they come and entertain us.
That is awesome.
Right,
look at those moves. I mean, look at that.
Hey, man. All right, we'll go to break. One final break before we take a break ourselves.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day, because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
3 days of deals you don't want to miss. It's Baumgar's 3-day deals. This Friday through Sunday, find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like Noble Outfitters, Ariat, and Carhartt, all at amazing prices. Keep your pets happy and your livestock thriving with Baumgar's exclusive feed. And don't forget Cyber Monday, December 1st for even more great deals at Baumgars.com. Baumgar's 3-day deal this Friday through Sunday.
Feeling under the weather? Got a minor injury that can't wait? Skip the ER visit and high cost. Choose CHI Health Clinic Priority Care for everything from sniffles and sinus infections to stitches and sprains. Priority Care handles it all at primary care rates, much less than a typical urgent care visit. Priority Care is open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Find relief without breaking the bank. Learn more at chihealth.com/prioritycare.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com. Hungry for something real? Come to HF Crave, Lincoln's favorite spot for burgers that are anything but basic. Locally sourced Nebraska beef, hand-cut fries, and bold flavors that'll make your taste buds cheer. Whether you're craving the classics or ready to try something wild, they've got the burger that gets you. HF Crave. Fresh, local, craveable. Find them at 48th and Holdridge or order online at hfcrave.com.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and it's that time of the year again. Time for the annual Happy Honda Days at Honda of Lincoln. With me on the line, Andy Goodyear, to tell us all about it.
The exciting news is we have more selection and more savings. We have over 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from, with a great opportunity to get year-end savings on every remaining new 2025.
Do you have some Happy Honda Day specials?
Sure do, Charlie. For example, you can lease a new 2025 Accord Sport Hybrid for just $349 a month, and we have financing from just 0% APR. We've also included over 125 pre-owned of all makes and models, and as always, our certified pre-owns are in this sale as well.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, for our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. Get 12% off parts the day of your local event. Can't make it? You can still save 10% on parts and 20% off planter parts December 1st through the 12th. It's the best time of the year to stock up on oil and filters. Grab John Deere gifts for under the tree and schedule your service inspections. Don't miss out. These deals only come around once a year at Landmark Implement. Find your nearest expo at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Oh, this menu is a masterpiece, guaranteed to deliver no matter how big the challenge.
This is the worst party ever.
Knock, knock. I brought chicken fingers.
Raising Cane's! The party is saved!
Let's go!
Peter. Mr. Billingsley.
Sorry. Got a little lost in the sauce there.
Celebrate the holidays with a classic, Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Welcome back to the Husker After Party Postgame Show. The Husker After Party Postgame Show is brought to you by Anderson Ford, Baumgars, and Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Final segment of the Husker After Party Show. Again, one shout out on our sponsors, Anderson Ford of Lincoln, Vinny Kreekak of State Farm, and of course, Baumgars. Baumgars 3-day deal is today through Sunday. Find exciting toys for the kids, powerful tools from DeWalt and Milwaukee, and top clothing brands like, hey, DP. They got Carhartt and Noble Outfitters, all at amazing prices. Don't forget Cyber Monday for more great deals, and enjoy a 3-day sale today through Sunday at Baumgars, located in Lincoln at 56th and Cornhusker Highway. Especially if you didn't get your dad a present yet. Baumgars usually isn't a bad sale.
Did you do any shopping?
Not yet. Well, no, I did get the Bears gear. That's the only thing I've done so far, but not like Christmas shopping because I'm selfish. I got myself covered first.
You really just said that out loud?
Hey, man, I mean, I'm not going to lie. My family knows I love them and care them deeply. But, yeah, I had to get that Bears gear. It's a momentous season for us.
You also went outside of the family to buy jerseys. You know who the Jersey King is, right?
That is true. I don't know why. It was on my
family.
It was on my Twitter. It popped up and it looked awesome.
You went outside the family.
Almost got a couple crew necks too, but
you went outside the family, Harrison.
Well, maybe if I want a Jalen Johnson jersey,
you know that's
I can get that one.
This is where Michael Corleone just grabs you by the face. I knew it was you. I knew it was you, Harrison. I knew it was you. I knew it was you. You broke my heart.
I'm sorry, man. I you know, I don't know why I always forget that. You're the ultimate hookup.
You broke my heart. It's a thing. In the space that we're in and trying to make sense of what this is. And again, we've got. Can you pull up tomorrow's schedule? Am I on the schedule tomorrow? Am I going to do a recap tomorrow morning? Is that?
As far as I know, yeah, you're on the schedule for
what time? What time am I on the schedule?
Should be that 11 to noon.
11 to noon, 11 to 1. What am I doing? It would be helpful to know what time I need to go to bed tonight. I need to watch UFC, but I don't know. No, that's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow too. So yeah, I've got time. I thought today was Saturday. Today's Friday.
I did that to Luke. I was like, why you guys open till 5? You guys never do this. And he's like, it's Friday, dude.
Friday,
and I was like, you're right.
He left early then. He still left early because he left at 4.
No, he left at 5. I saw him lock the doors at 5 o'clock. Yeah, you were just.
No, it was just in the last hour.
I thought he left like right at 5 o'clock.
No, he left at 4, bro. He was beat down. He was beat down. He took a beating today. Yeah, he really did.
All right, DP, what do you got to do?
11
to 12.
11 to 12. What's at 12 o'clock?
And then 12 to 3 is replays, whatever we deem necessary.
So I'm here.
Interested.
I'm doing 1. I'm doing 11 to 1. Okay, that's fair. And Eulers at 10?
Yours 10.
Okay. So y'all can get my, so this is my fresh take. You'll get my built-in takes before I head over to PBA and watch the Huskers.
Who do the men's got tomorrow?
1 o'clock. Don't they play tomorrow?
Yeah, they do play tomorrow. You know who they have?
I don't. South Carolina upstate? Or is that Monday?
Don't go anywhere. We're going to get this for you really, really quick as we still got the Hail
Volleyball's
Varsity music.
Volleyball's at
South
8.
Carolina upstate.
Is that tomorrow?
Yep, that is tomorrow.
You sure?
Yes, that is tomorrow.
Positive.
Yep, 18 hours away.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
All right, that's been the Husker After Party Show. Shout out to DP for hanging around. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2, and all you listeners chiming in.
Replays until Mandy Monson post game tonight.
Don't go anywhere.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at the Ticket.